Rise and shine, it's craft, chat, create time. It's lovely to be with you this morning if we've not met before. Hi, I'm Becky, how are you getting on? I hope you are ready for a fabulous day, because let me tell you something. We have got some treasures for you. I've got a launch today. I'm not allowed to tell you about it until 10. My lips are sealed, but it's a goodie. So I will be telling you more about that. Also, did you know that today we are going to be offering you Clearpay? Yay! We have got Clearpay for you today, which, if you do not know entirely what this is, at the side of your screen there is all of the main details that you need. Essentially, what this is going to help you do is treat yourself to those things that you've had your eye on for a little bit of time with 4 easy installments. So, say you've had your eye on something, so long as it's over £30 or under £1,000, you can treat yourself. And what you're going to be doing is you will pay your first instalment, for example, today, and then you will pay off the other 3 installments 2 week time, 2 week time, 2 week time. This is something really, really mega special, and is your opportunity to treat yourself, and you don't have to see all of that go out of your account once. I will mention to you, it is UK only at this moment in time. Sorry, US and rest of the world, but UKers, treat yourself today. We will tell you more about this as the show goes on, and if you do have any questions, ask us, or you can head on over to our website. If you would like to get in touch with us today, it's so easy to do so, and to be honest, we absolutely love a good natter with you. That's kind of what the show's about. So do get social with us. At the bottom of your screen is how you can do it on Facebook, you can do it on Instagram as well, you can do it on YouTube. Get social with us whichever way you so wish, and we will have a natter to you, because this show is live. Well, depending on when you're watching. If it is approximately 1 minute and 47 minutes past 8 o'clock in the morning UK, then you are watching us live. So get social. We love hearing from you, especially if you're new. Have you just stumbled upon us? Did your next door neighbour Marjorie say, have you heard of Crafters TV? It's brilliant, and today's your first day logging in. If it is, definitely go on and say hello to us, because we are a massive family here. And one member of this massive family joins me today in a shirt that looks very similar to the one he had on yesterday. It's Craig!
Can I please just clear something up here? It is the same shirt as yesterday, but it's a different shirt. Make sense? No? So, the shirt I had on yesterday, which was like this one here, when months ago, I did buy another shirt. Unbeknown to me, it was actually identical to one that I've got. So it's the same style of shirt as yesterday, but it's actually a different one. Anyway, that being said, what an incredible day. Clearpay, Becky.
I know, right?
Clearpay here in the UK, that is absolutely phenomenal. Available, obviously, on all of our shows, basically our website. Unbelievable. So excited about that one, being able to shout about it. But here we go. What have we got coming up on Craft, Chat and Create? We are going to be having a look at our 3D embossing folders. So like Becky says, if you're new to us, you've maybe never seen 3D embossing folders, let me tell you, hand on heart, I would say no one does 3D embossing like we do at Crafters Companion. Our product development team are phenomenal. So we have got multitude of 3D embossing folders. What makes them 3D? I'll explain that very, very shortly. Lots of different techniques. Now, what we're also going to be doing, we are going to be showing you things like our scoreboard, our envelope box maker, even our Ultimate Pro. That enables you to make your own envelopes. Lovely, great. But what about the inside of your envelopes? We've got dies that you can then decorate inside your envelopes. We're going to be showing you them. There's other ways that you can do them. Now look at this, a plain, simple, white envelope. You've maybe already got them within your card blank pack, but you can jazz it up a bit, whatever colorways that you want. Pattern paper by making your own envelopes. But look at this one, Becky. Look at that. Card front, that is one of our envelope inserts that you can see here. What we've then got is we have got our metallic pens. So we've got our metallic pens we're going to have a look at. Not only can you colour with them being metallic, you can watercolour with them, but then you can stamp with them as well. So we're going to have a look at these. As I mentioned a moment ago, what we are also going to do is we're going to be looking at our scoreboards, how you can do your envelopes. I'm going to be showing you our large guillotine. The large guillotine is the only one we've got in stock at the moment. 70%, just over 70% sold out here in the UK. So many people say to me, Craig, your mats and layers are so perfect. How do you do them? I've said before, I could have 2 hours and talk about the guillotine because I adore it so much. If you do have trouble, Becky, I'm going to show you how I do my mats and layers using our large guillotine.
Perfect. And don't forget, if you do want to treat yourself to that large guillotine, you could always use our Clearpay, which we have had for quite a while, as you all know, but we've never mentioned it on show before. So today is our first day that we are treating ourselves to it here on the telly box, again for UK only. If you sign up today, do not forget that you will receive 20% off your first order, and that is part of our Club Inspire. If you don't know what Club Inspire is because you're new, don't worry, we'll fill you in all on that later on. It's basically a scheme where you spend and save, and it's free to do so. It's win-win-win. We have got for you loads and treats, as I've mentioned, but one of them that I want to talk about first is this big collection next to me. These are your 3D embossing folders. Now, if you've never seen them before, we will be talking through them and having a demo on them very, very shortly, so stay tuned. Let me let you know that what these do is they create and emboss a textured detail. So can you see all of these lovely areas here with the florals where we've got the colours in? All of those are raised. So it gives you a really professional look. We have got for you today the full collection if you want it. You can just get these far 3 and these closer, 4 and 4, if you wanted to separately, but getting it all in together, you are getting a massive saving. Best price ever is on your screen right now. Should be nearly £56, but actually it's just $39.14. Have you seen that Clearpay instalment price? That's like back of the sofa kind of stuff. Do you know what I mean? You have a good rummage when sort of, you know, someone comes with your takeaway. Oh, blimey. You have a rummage down the back of your sofa. That's the kind of money we're talking here on your instalments. So today, if you are doing it Clearpay, you will pay just that. It is a perfect time to treat yourself. Embossing folders are great for people who are new, right?
They really are. Because what they do is they enable you to get that instant hit of creativity on the front of your cards. Now you will need a die cutting machine. Now a die cut machine, of course, we have our Gemini range, which, you know, in my opinion is the best out there, and I can say that because, and I've said this actually a couple of times over the last few days, every one of us on the team, we all bought our own Gemini before we started working with Crafter's Companion. That's how much, as crafters that we are, that we needed to have the Gemini. So we've all got our own ones, as I say, that we purchased. Never got them on Clearpay though, I have to point out. Now you've got that one, you lucky things here in the UK. So what we're going to do with these ones here is we do embossing folders. And what that is running it through a folder. So this is it here. This is our folder. And we have lots and lots of what we would class as 2D embossing folders. So what you get is one layer of embossed detail. With this one, it is 3D. So what happens is you get a multitude of layers. So what that could be is 3 layers, 4 layers, 5 layers, depending on the image. There's a nicer way to show you that you've got a multitude of layers. So it's very easy to work and use. So what we're going to do is we are going to do a little bit of inking as well. So I tell you what I'm going to do is plain and simple. I'm going to run it through white cardstock just to show you how it would look. Then what I'm going to do is we've got our opaque pigment ink pads. We're going to use them just shortly. So what I'm going to do is a white smooth stamping card, and I'm simply going to pop it into the folder. Now the folder is 5 by 7, so you don't need to worry depending on the size of your die cut machine. As you can see here, my cardstock's a bit bigger, but I can always trim it afterwards using my guillotine. Now this is a 3D embossing folder, so what we need for that is a slightly different plate configuration than die cutting. So we are going to need our base cutting plate, we're going to need our plastic shim, And then we are also going to need our magnetic shim. So this is from my Gemini Junior. It is small folder, 5x7, but you can still do it in your large die cutting machines if you want. So what I'm going to do, base cut and plate, all good to go that we can see here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to sit my folder over the top, and I've got my cardstock sandwiched in the middle. So what I can then do, let's just straighten that up slightly. What I'm then going to do is my magnetic shim, and then I'm going to do my plastic shim. That's all that we need to do. I'm going to feed that up to my Gemini Junior. Now, if you are using any other branded die cut machine that you absolutely can do, just double check the plate configuration for a 3D folder, because obviously it will be different than our Gemini range. So if I open this one up, now that is actually the deboss side, which looks gorgeous, but the actual side, look at that. Plain, simple, onto white cardstock. You see what I mean, Becky, with the multitude of different layers all the way through. Outline of the petals are a lot higher up than maybe some of the leaves. The leaves are slightly higher than some of the foliage. The buds are even more high. There's just a multitude of layers, and that's what our 3D folder is. So very simple, a mat and layer sentiment, that's all that you need to do. Quick, simple, and the recipient is going to be like, wow, how did you do that?
Right.
But then what you can do is you can then start to incorporate your inks and have a little bit of fun. So I'm away to use our fuchsia. This is our pigment ink pad. So this one is what we say is a sticky ink pad. It stays open longer, which means we can come along with things like our embossing powders. So we do a multitude of embossing powders on our website thanks to Creative Expressions / Cosmic Shimmer. But for these ones, you're only going to need a clear embossing folder. So what I'm going to do is I'm feeling which side I actually want to be inked up. So what I'm going to do is this side here, this has got all the detail which is into my folder here. So what I mean by that is this excess plastic layer all the way around, that's going to be coloured. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap with my ink pad, and what you do not need to worry about is damaging your folder. You don't need to worry at all. Baby wipe, or maybe things like a microfiber cloth, or maybe a wet wipe, something like that is going to clean it up. What may happen with something like the fuchsia is it may stain your folder.
Okay.
But that will do no damage. That will not taint any future cardstock, even white. As long as you get the remaining ink off, you're going to be absolutely fine.
Great.
So what I'm going to do here is let's take another piece of white smooth, because the white smooth cardstock I had, I just used it a moment ago. So I'm going to use my Guillotine, and we're going to talk you through this just shortly. So I'm just trimming this down to just shy of 5 inches. And then what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to lay it onto the other side here, simply because I don't want this to move and then start to spread the ink. So I'm going to close that, and I'm going to hold it tight, Becky. What I'm going to do, same plate configuration. So I've got my base plate, I've got my magnetic shim, and then I've got my plastic shim. So what that does now is that does exactly what I've done a moment ago, but with the pressure of the Gemini, what it's going to do is it's going to transfer that ink to the outline of the embossed detail. So what I'm going to do is let's open this up. So what we can then do is then open, so we're going to see this just in a moment. So as we go, ta-da!
Woo!
Now look at that. That is absolutely exquisite. That is simply by adding some ink on the folder. Now, what you can then do is go one step further. Because it's opaque pigment, what we can then do is let's come in with our clear embossing powder. And as I say, this is what we class as opaque pigment. It stays open longer. So in other words, our embossing powder is going to stick to all of that ink. So you no longer have to invest in lots of colours of embossing powder. Simply invest in our bundle of our opaque pigment ink pads, and then what we can do is invest in clear embossing powder, and that's it. So I'm going to take my heat tool, and all that I'm going to do, let's get this plugged in, and just for a few seconds get this to temperature, and then we're going to get this good to go. Once I'm happy, which I am, I'm going to start at this top left hand corner, And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go side to side. And then what will happen is the clear embossing powder will start to melt. So we can already see how it's going a bit darker?
Yeah.
And then what will happen is I'm going to work my way along. And then what happens initially is you don't see an instant change by what I'm doing now. The change happens once it's all melted, and then I show you it and I tilt it. You've got a fuchsia coloured glaze. It is absolutely exquisite. So fun to do.
Seriously glossy, isn't it?
It is, it really is. And then what that also does, Becky, is because the powder has only stuck to the background, we can leave all this white if we want, but that creates a resist. So we can come over with some of our inks if we want to, and we can colour tint any of the flowers that we want. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do half of this so that you can see the difference.
All right.
So if I finish this half here, so we're going to go into here, and then I'm happy with that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to, let's go that way, Craig. I'm going to start to tilt it, and then hopefully you'll see that, oh, do you see that there?
Yeah.
You've got, look at that, top left-hand corner. You've got that shine. So that's where it creates a resist effect that you've got there. I would, of course, continue all the way down. You know, you can't just leave embossing powder, because what will happen is that will wipe off now unless you heat set it. Very quickly, one other thing that you can do, which is a wow effect. Let me bring in one of the other folders. So let's go in with the roses with this one here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with, let's go in with Gilding wax. And this is our Empire Gold. All of these sort of colours you will find on our website as well. So let's take our folder out here. So we're going to do exactly the same. So I'm going to pop my black cardstock into my folder, close it, and then we're going to then do our base cutting plate. We're going to do our magnetic, and then we're going to be doing our plastic shim. Now, what I've done here with the 3D embossing folders within this range, you're going to do exactly the same with any of your other 3D embossing folders. You can also do them with your 2D embossing folders as well, but with the 3D you get a lot of layers. So let's show you the black. So once again, that's the back and that's the deboss side, which, you know, it looks lovely, but it's hard to see on black. This is when the magic happens. Are you ready for this? Oh, I just love this technique. Love, love, love it. So what I'm doing is I'm tapping some of the gold Gilding wax, and then keeping my fingers straight, and in circular motions, what I'm doing is I am picking up the detail. But what's happening again, Becky, is because there's a multitude of layers with it being 3D, the top part is more heavy with the gold. You know, your middle layers is light, slightly lighter. Your back layers are even lighter. But then because you've got 4, 5, 6 different layers, it picks up different shades of gold, basically. So some is heavy, some is light, and then you can still go heavy-handed in some bits. So if I go into this bit here and continue to add more, we can see how outstanding this pops out, and it really does pop out more. I might want to just do the centre here, and I'm going to take this excess, I'm going to finish it off, and I would always recommend as well, take a little bit of kitchen roll, and we're going to give it a little bit of a buff. Alternatively, a microfiber cloth also works a treat as well. We're just buffing it up, and then look at that. How elegant does that look? You could carry on all the way down to the bottom. And once again, what I would do is a simple gold matte layer, Becky, with a sentiment. That's all you need. I tell you, I've got a sentiment just handy. Let's see. Can you imagine if you just had that sitting to the side there?
Gorgeous.
Very, very simple. Onto a gold layer. You don't need much at all. These embossing folders, these are so, I'm going to say, underused over the last few years when it comes to embossing folders. And now that we bring you our 3D and we constantly push the technology when it comes to creating 3D embossing folders with our product development team, I just love them. I love our 3D embossing folders.
They are seriously special. Thank you for showing us that, Craig. And this is the great thing, even if you're brand spanking new, you saw how quick that was, right? You don't even have to do the full picture if you don't want. You could just use a little bit of that wonderful, I've got these coming up, wax in a section, cut it down. You can make tags with this, birthday cards, Christmas cards, whatever you want. And because you've got the florals here, these really are like all year round florals. And that's what I love about this collection. Spring is on the way. You might not notice it if you step outside, but it definitely is on the way, and you have got some of those spring and summertime florals here. Just as a reminder, what you're going to be getting, you're getting a massive amount of all of them, including, but not limited to, your dahlias, your cherry blossom, your sunflower, your roses, and more. If you do want the full collection, it's here for you on screen right now. And remember, you can get that on Clearpay for less than a tenner if you're in the UK, so do feel free to treat yourself today. We have got loads of you getting involved with us today. I'll say a quick hello to you now and then hello to more of you later. Hi Rhiannon, how are you? Rihanna's in from Australia, where it's very warm apparently. Jealous. And hello to Rebecca. Good name. Good morning from Herefordshire. Hello, my love. We have got Jane Wilson's in saying, morning. Shh, I'm silently lurking as I'm at work. Oh, don't worry, I won't tell. Jane from, no, what was I say? Hello to Val as well, saying hi, Craig and Becky, and all of the team, ready to see what treats you've got today. Val in Southampton. One treat I'm not allowed to tell you about until 10 a.m. It's a launch, it's mega, you're going to love it, but I'm not allowed to mention it till 10 because I'll get told off, or at least a strongly worded email. Gloria's in saying, good very early morning from Shadydale, Georgia. It's 3 a.m. and I'm so glad to see this show. I have the 3D folders, but I haven't used them yet, so I'm so happy. Well, I hope that you enjoyed that demo, Gloria. Loads more of you come in, and I'll say hello to you more in a little bit. I got up at 3 a.m. as well today, Gloria, so yeah, I'm feeling you. Power through, you've got this. We have got some incredible extra demos coming up. One of them that you saw then with the embossing folders was where Craig applied the fuchsia colour to the folders themselves. If you want to recreate that technique, I have got the elements here for you to do it. These are our opaque pads that we have for you. You have all of the colours here in this collection, you can see, including the likes of your Chinese red. I've also got in here your crushed velvet. It's a really beautiful, deep, intense purple. Your Freya brown I have in here too. Great for kind of outdoorsy designs. If you're inspired by nature, you'll use that one a lot. Fuchsia is the one that was used in the demo just then. Honey Pot is going to be perfect alongside the Lemon Tonic. If you wanted to pair these in together, for example, on the sunflowers, give you that double layer effect. It makes it look more realistic. I've also got your Pale Fig as well. This has got a really delicate colour, great for the likes of sort of Mother's Day, Spring, Easter events. It's a lovely one to use at this time of year. Your Plum Jam, ooh, jam. We have got that one for you in here too. Your Pink Tulip. Now, I've got a lot of florals here. You're going to be able to use these with many of them, including the likes of your Cherry Blossom. It's going to go great with that. And last but by no means least, I've got our Spring Fields. These are going to be perfect with your embossing folders and so much more. And the thing is, they really last. And that's what's great about these. We absolutely stack them with all of that colour, so they will last and last. These are normally just shy of $5 each. Today though, £39 or just $55. So it's a saving of 20% on those. And if you're brand new, this is a great one for you to add because there's plenty you can do with them, not just colouring up these, stamping and so much more. But it's a great one to treat yourself when it's such a bargain today. Another one of the wonderful demonstrations from our little Craigle was when we worked with the waxes. Now these waxes come in a pot like this. I wish we could sort of have these really, delicate weighing scales so that you could see the tiny amount that Craig used. You saw it was sort of a finger dab, right? These are absolutely jam-packed with that wax colour, and the colour in them is sensational. I've got lots of different colours here for you, and as you saw there, you can use them on black paper to really pop, but you can use them on white as well. So we've got lots of different colours here. King Gold I've got for you. Well, your Imperial Gold there as well. Then I'm bringing to you, I love this one. It reminds me, it's your antique gold, and it really is a really vintage feel. It's almost like when you see sort of brass statues, isn't it? Then I'm bringing to you this, which is your Renaissance gold. That colour works really well if you want to do an ombre kind of colours. You can ombre those together. And then I've also got this, which is that wonderful silver hue. The silver pops on white and black as well, but can be used to lighten up some of the other elements in your pieces. All of those today, and I will just let you know, that is going to last and last and last. It may well take you, you know, a year to go through just one pot of this, depending on how often you use it. It is going to last and last. So to be able to get it today at that Clearpay price is astonishing. So do feel free to treat yourself to it. Now, if you are new, oh my goodness, as I mentioned, we are like a big family here. You can absolutely get in touch with us and get social and say hello to people. But also, now that you're part of the family, you can get involved with some of our special treats, including this.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% off your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Thank you very much, Sarah. It is absolutely free to get involved with Club Inspire. That's one thing to definitely remember, because I know that other places may well do membership schemes that you have to pay for weekly, monthly, whatever it might be. Not here, it's free. So you spend and you save, which is always a winner. And if you are brand new to us, you can get involved and you get that 20% discount on your first order as well. If you are just dipping your toe in the vast pool that is creativity, then let me give you some advice. We here at Crafters TV do things such as die cutting machines. They help you cut, they help you emboss, but that's not all we do. We do creativity for everyone to get involved with. And if you have ever used a marker, a pen or a pencil, you can get involved with this next product, which, by the way, is not like any other pen, pencil, marker you will have used, because I am bringing to you Spectrum Noir. Spectrum Noir is a name within the industry that says quality, that says workability, and that says, at that price anyway, bargainacious shopportunity. I have got for you a selection of jewel-tipped pens. So, just to talk you through these, in case you've not seen them before, you're going to get two different ends on here. One of them is finer than the other. Both have this liquid quality to them that gives you fluidity in movement, comfort in creation, but then also it makes your pieces look really nice and professional. Each of these ones has different colours, as you can see, in that jewel tip, and they give you real impact. Now check out that sheen, that gloss. It's almost like a pearlescence to it, isn't it? And the thing is, a lot of the time when you get pens like this, there's almost like a residue to them. Not on these whatsoever. They are steadfast. So they give you that professional finish every time, doing the work for you so that you can get that gorgeous look. And these are the colours you're going to be getting in this set. But it's not just one pack. Oh no. You are getting, this is one of my favourites. It's just got such a zing. This is your Rare Minerals collection. Think about these colours with that embossing folder. I'm having a little look at these and I'm thinking of the dahlias. How great would the amethyst be with the dahlias? Maybe the red garnet on those roses. It's going to look spectacular. Add a little bit of your rose quartz or your pink quartz for that cherry blossom. This is going to be next level. And then I've got for you your precious metals as well. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, Bex, they're similar in colour to the waxes. Yes, they are. And let me tell you, they work a treat together. They're like fish and chips or Bert and Ernie. We have got for you 18 different colours here. And don't forget, they are dual nibbed as well. So you've got those 2 different thicknesses. Today, to get all of those pens, you are looking at just £23.98. £6 if this is on Clearpay. Don't forget to make the most of that Clearpay here in the UK. You have to make sure that the basket that you're checking out is over £30. So treat yourself to this and somewhere else. You will be getting that for just £6. And these really are epic. So do make the most of that deal, because even if you're brand new, these are going to be things that make you go, wow. So do enjoy those ones whilst you have the opportunity, because they are very special. If you would like to get in touch with us, please make sure that you do on our wonderful socials. We've got loads of people in saying, oh hang on, how would you say this name, Craig? C-Y-R-I-S-S-A.
See, I'm one of those where I actually need to see it.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Well, I can't help you with that right now. We're going to guess Sarissa. I don't know why I said that.
Do you know what? That. We're live, so
yeah.
Tell you what.
Yeah. That one there.
Yeah, but I'm going to, so you can just see me just popping it. There we go. Third to the bottom.
Yeah.
Sarissa?
Just what I said.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. No, Sarissa, that's good. Thank you for your help. Sarissa is saying, Craig is so inspiring.
Oh, bless you.
I always learn something new and creative when I watch. Very true, isn't it? Hello to Evangeline too, saying, woohoo! I completed both demos just now. Beautiful. Thank you, Craig.
Oh, you're welcome.
Great. Playing along at home. That's wonderful to see. We've had a message in saying, Craig, can I ask, why is it that you said the owl die is too thick to foil with the other day? Is it because the gold bronze dyes are thick, so they don't heat up enough? Easy for you to say.
Rightio. So this is referring to one of our thousands of hours of shows that we've got across on YouTube that you can go back and watch. And this was just the other day. We have a foil press here at Crafters Companion if you're new to us, and it is on the website. Now what you can do is you can use your normal wafer thin dies to foil with, #launch day later on in the day, 7 o'clock here in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern time, where we are going to be having a look at something launching, and we're also going to be foiling with them. They're wafer thin dies, we're going to foil with them. But to answer that question, the rose gold dyes, these are mixed media dyes, multimedia dyes, so they're a lot thicker. So therefore you can't foil with them because it's to do with the plate configuration. The combination of plates is going to be too thick and it's going to damage your plates. So if you are going to foil with your wafer thin dyes, make sure it is the silver dyes, not just ours, any that you've got, but that's why I say don't use your rose gold dyes, your mixed media dyes, they're too thick.
That's great. Thank you very much for that. Anyone else get a bit hungry when Craig says wafer thin? Nope. Cool. The silence spoke volumes.
Oh, look at that tumbleweed just going all the way through down there.
Oh, you're a cheeky kipper. Hello as well to Stacey, saying, I have got about 34 water reactive inks and about 6 of the metallic ink pads, and I love to use them with clear embossing powder. It just finishes it off your artwork, mixed media, journal pages, cards and more. If you would like to get involved with the type of crafts Stacey is talking about, don't forget you can treat yourself. Should we have a demo? Oh, go on, twist his arms. What are we going to be making, Craig?
I never know what you're about to call me next, you know that. Never know. Craigie, Craigle, Craigle Bagel, Kipper, could be anything. It could be anything. Now what we're going to do is, you showed those boards, Becky, but really do show off the pens. What I'm going to do, let's show you a few finished samples first, because I really don't want you to think that all that you have to do is colour with them. You can do a lot more, and I'm going to go through that in a moment. Now, this is actually a previous stamp that we've done. You can stamp with them. Hashtag I know you can stamp with them. So another one here where you can stamp with, but then you can colour with them. Now within here, not just black card or dark card, you really do see the incredible metallic look on darker card, but you absolutely can use them on white cardstock as well, and that goes to show how well that they look. But again, what you can do is they're metallic markers, but you can watercolour with them. Metallic markers, and you can watercolor with them. You can't do that with any other markers. I know they're saying in our ear there, say, what? Exactly, you can watercolor. But if you like to do your fonts, if you're really good at calligraphy, you've got that brush nib, why not have a little bit of a play? Again, stamped images where you can color in, and there's a way that I'm going to recommend by colouring these ones in. This is going to be another example that we can see here with the previous peacock. What I would suggest that you do when it comes to the metallic markers is to colour using an image that's been heat embossed, and there's a reason why, and I'm going to explain that one. Let's take a bit of black card to start with, and I'm going to go in with a rare minerals. Now I'm not going to do all the pens. What I want to do, Becky, is you showed the boards, but to show both the nibs. So this one here is the red garnet. So even if I just go all the way down here and then move that up, we've got a nice subtle of the metallics. But then on the opposite side, we have got a finer point. But then what we've got is, we go in with the blue, which is the blue topaz, onto black card. Look at that. So you've got your fine tip, but then look at the brush nib that you've got here within the metallic. So that is on your black cardstock. So that's just a couple of colours to let you see. But what I am going to do is let's bring in our stamping mat, and then I'm going to take one of our butterfly stamps. This is from one of our ranges at Crafter's Companion. Of course, you could use any stamp that you've got. Now, the reason that we do say to colour in an image that's been heat embossed, that is because it gives you that resist edge. So the metallic ink is going to stay confined within your image. Now, you can use our translucent clear ink pad, which is on our website, which is a sticky ink. Stamp with this and cover with embossing powder. But if you've got our opaque pigment ink pads, our opaque pigment ink pads are exactly the same. The only difference is they've got colour on them. Now, what I would say is you don't need to worry about the actual colour because it's black. You're not going to see it. All that I want to do is I just want to use my opaque pigment as a sticky ink. So I can go for any colour. I'm going to go for crushed velvet because it's dark. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp my ink pad. So this is also to let you know that you might have a couple of the opaque pigments, or you're going to go for the opaque pigments. Don't feel as though you have to get a translucent clear pad. You can use one of your pigments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp onto my black card. So we're going to stamp that out and we're going to press it. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over with my clear embossing powder. Once again, this is our black matte cardstock within our range here. So we've got initial outline that we can see with the butterfly. I do need to heat set it, and because this is a clear powder, this will give you that shiny butterfly look. So it will kind of sink into the cardstock, but don't worry about that because this is where we're going to come with our metallic pens. So we're going to melt this. So we're going to melt it all really, really quickly. So we're going to go in. So we're going to work our way, finish it off, what we can see here. So it disappears. So then if I lift that up, you can see that the butterfly is just there and no more. So you can just see it in this area here. Trust me, it is there. But what we've now got is a resist butterfly outline. So then what I can do, Becky, is if I come in and let's go for, I tell you what, let's go for the silver, and this is from the antique elements, and you're getting them all. And then we can go in. I'm going to go in with the finer nib here, and then I'm going to colour inside the line. So we can then go in and we can start to pick out elements from our butterfly with our metallic ink, metallic pens even. But as I say, that outline creates a resist effect. So then all that we're doing is we're going into each one. Let's go with a little bit of purple, which is Antique Pearl. And we're going in onto here. So we're cherry picking sections that we can see on this one. Butterfly stamp, of course, but you think of all the stamps that you've got at home, whether it's outline stamps, sentiment stamps that's got areas that you can colour, you can then colour in with your metallic pens. So we get a lovely metallic butterfly. Let's also go in with a deep lilac, which happens to be pink quartz. And then we're going in. Now you've got that nice little bullet nib, but then what you've also got is you've got your brush nib on the opposite side. So if you do have any of these finer areas, you can go in and you can go in and you can get really, really fine areas, and you're left with that clear outline. So as it starts to build up, your butterfly or whatever image that it is that you are colouring starts to build up. So I'm going in to these bits here. So then let's do a couple more. But what you can do with these as well, which you can't do with other metallic pens out there, Becky, is if I go onto my glass mat here, or a craft mat, it's up to yourself, I'm going to squiggle, tell you what, let me go a bit closer so you can see. I'm going to squiggle onto my glass mat that we've got here. I'm then going to take just some water here, it's just water in a cup that I've got, and I've got a paintbrush as well. We can now start to do watercolouring with it. Metallic pens, and we're watercolouring. So we can pick up the colour, and then what I can then start to do is I can go over. I'm going to take some of that water off, and I'm going to go back over. And then what this does as well is that creates the resist effect where we've got the butterfly. So I'm going to bring that colour in, and then I'm going to go over. So as it dries, because you've got that water that's giving you that instant look because it's onto the black cardstock, but as it dries, it's going to be a lot subtler because you are diluting it. But once again, what happens as it dries out, you can then get a metallic sheen. So can we say, I know it's a lot more prominent to me face up, but what you've got is a metallic sheen all the way through. So I know it doesn't quite show off the best on your camera, but you can kind of see around here how you've got that metallic look as well. So you get that idea when you've got that. It gives you the idea of the technique. But what you can then also do, and this is what I mentioned just not that long ago, and that is where you can stamp with them as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just take some of that Opaque pigment ink pad off, and then I'm going to tap it dry, because I want to make sure that there's no excess colour on it. So let's take that one off. Now what we can do is let's go in with a gold. So let's go in with, tell you what, let's go in with rose gold. So what we're going to do with this one, Becky, is I'm going to go in with the brush end. So if I take my nib off, we're going to go in with the brush end, and then I'm going to sit it, at a little bit of an angle, what feels comfortable, and we are basically going to colour over our stamp. So we are replacing an ink pad with our metallic ink. So this is now colouring over our ink pad. So we're going to go over. We're going to finish that one off. And the brush nib is certainly the best nib to do this with because you've got more of a flatter surface that you can then colour over the top. So what I can then do is then come along, take these ones here. So if I then stamp this one. Now we've had a really good question just come through there, Becky. So Anne-Lee is asking, would our metallic ink pads do exactly the same? Absolutely, they will do. So your metallic pens are going to work in conjunction with your metallic ink pads, but what I've showed you now with the pens, you can absolutely do with your ink pads. So if I then come in again, it's one of those things that It's always hard to see on black cardstock, although metallic pens are good for black cardstock.
Yeah,
so it's kind of like, you know, you're caught in the middle. But what I can do is, let's do it again, but also onto white. So please don't think as though that you can't use white cardstock. You absolutely can. It's really the black cardstock shows off the best when it comes to your metallic look. So what we can do, and to say as well, because you were saying, Becky, you know, get your questions or your comments in. I know so many of you have tried this technique and you love doing this technique. So it's lovely to hear if you have done it. So anyone that's new that's watching, you know that you've got that comfort at knowing that there's so many of our viewers that love to do it as well.
Absolutely.
So let's stamp that, and then we can lift it up. So look at that. So that is the same look that you're going to get within black, but obviously when you do it up front, you're going to get more of that metallic look, but then that gives you the idea as what to expect. That's on white card. So you absolutely can do it, and then very quickly, again, the difference onto white card, so you can see what you can then do. What about if, you know, so if I just bring in this one here, Becky, so if you do like all of your writing and you like your calligraphy and what have you, you can absolutely do that. So I'm going to write my name. I'll tell you what, let's do my bullet nib just normally just now. So you can write your name.
You don't have some lovely handwriting.
People say that to me, yeah.
Well, nice.
You know, and I am no calligrapher or calligraphist. I don't do fancy font writing, you know, but you've got that brush nib, so you can do, you know, you can do them in different ways. Do you know what? Like I say, you know, that's diabolical. But do you know what I mean? So many of you. It gives you the idea that you've got that flexibility within the nib, so you can go thicker, you can go thinner. You've got all of that one. Could be a ribbon in actual fact.
Yeah,
could
absolutely.
Be. Absolutely.
We have just had a question from Stacey asking, when you're using the pens on your stamps, do you have to prime the stamps in the same way you would if you were to use ink? So it's the first time ever you're using the stamp.
So if it is the first time ever, what I would do is, yes, I would prime it. Something a little bit different. So what we mean by priming it, if we go back to our translucent clear, if you get any of our stamps, if they're brand new stamps, what will happen is sometimes you get residual like stamp material over the top. That's what can create your stamped impression to be a bit bubbly and bobbly and not a fine outline. So what we would say is, if you've got a brand new stamp, so before you ink it up with your ink, you would go over with your translucent clear, and then you would go over with your coloured ink. And that's going to prime your cardstock, it's going to prime your stamp, it's going to give you that nice smooth impression. The only thing to watch for though, if you're doing this technique with your metallic ink, I would dab some of the translucent clear off, because it makes it sticky. And that's not what you want when it comes to your metallic ink pads. It's going to stick to your cardstock, take up the fibres, and that's what you don't want. So yes, you can prime it, but just dab off some of that translucent clear ink pad first before you use it.
Perfect. And if you are brand new, could you just wash it under the tap if you haven't got the translucent?
Absolutely. If you've not, so what you could then do, wouldn't necessarily run it under the tap, but what you could do is things like sticky tape, or if you do have low-tack tape or any branded sticky tape, for instance. Let's take this one here. I'm going to take our low-tack tape, could be sticky tape as I say, and then what you can do, an alternative way to prime it, Becky, is pop the tape over your stamp, peel off, and then I can actually see it here, you can't on the screen, but you've got an outline of the butterfly. That is actually the residual part of the stamp. So if you don't have that, simply take some low-tack tape, sticky tape. I know Sellotape is a brand, but you can use that one, and that's a good way of doing it as well.
Just think of it like when you're taking the dog hairs off your clothes before you go out.
Yes.
Yes, like that. We've had a message in from Sherry. I remember there was one pen you had to have onto the stamp. Would these be the same?
So sometimes, yes, so.
Sorry, what's the word? Huff.
Huff or puff.
Blow your house down.
There you go,
Cool.
yes. So what you could do is, but I know where you're coming from this one here. What can happen within this one here is you will, now because you've seen as well, so if I showed you with the white, you see that it works no problem at all. What you could do is, if you want a more seamless impression, so if we do that again, let's colour over the top. So we're going to go over the top here, we're going to colour. Now as I'm getting to one end, one side's starting to dry, so you want to moisten it. So this is where you're going to huff and you're going to puff, but you're not going to blow your house down. We're going to come close, and then we're going to go. Then we're going to press. So that moistens it slightly.
Got you.
So you can do that. I don't always do it.
No.
But you can do it. But you can see I needed to put a little bit more ink down on that one there.
Yeah.
But you've got that. So yes, you can do the huff and you can do the puff. Not a set. I don't do it. Personal preference. Give it a shot. If you want to do it, go for it. If you're
Oh, I love that.
try something new for the day. Just do a little huffing and puffing.
Absolutely. Oh, I had a feeder. We have got the metallic markers on your screen right now, and lovely Lynn Jones messaged in. Any relation to Tom? Saying, I love the metallic pens. They're so juicy and versatile, and I think Craig's absolutely demonstrated that. Thank you very much, Craig. Just as a quick reminder, if you do want to be able to do those techniques and many more, these are the colours you're getting within the collection today. One thing I will mention about these two, which is kind of really special, is these boards, that's what we call them here in a shop and TV land, these boards that I'm showing you now were done months and months and months and months and months and months ago. But can you see how it's still super glossy? This is the quality we're dealing with. So these are the colours that you're getting, including the likes of your rose gold, your tarnished silver. You've also got your jade green, your citrine, and you've got the likes of your pewter and your gold nugget as well. All of those ones today. And again, let me just show you the quality. Even though these were done months ago, that luminosity is still absolutely vibrant within these. We're bringing to you all of those today for your Clearpay price. Now, these are from Spectrum Noir, and Spectrum Noir, I'm sure a lot of you would say, were epic. In fact, if you are on socials right now, would you let us know what you love about Spectrum Noir? What is it about that name? What does it kind of inspire in you? Do feel free to get social on that. Hey, don't forget, it's a month till Valentine's Day as well. Let us know if you are Valentine's Day crafting too. We'd love to hear from you. But let us know all about your wonderful Spectrum Noir experience for anyone who is brand new. This is a little bit more about our Spectrum Noir range.
Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash. Draw, decorate, and customize your world with the colorful Spectrum Noir acrylic paint markers. Each premium paint marker gives opaque coverage on ceramic, glass, wood, and let's not forget paper, cardstock, and canvas. These versatile markers are filled with highly pigmented premium water-based paint, offering beautiful, rich, and smooth coverage. The colors can be blended together, and the fast-drying opaque paint is ideal for layering. A 3mm bullet tip offers smooth strokes, and a precision valve mechanism allows rich and consistent flow with no clogging. Quick Buy, all your crafting must-haves in a flash.
That is a little bit more about our crafters range and our wonderful Spectrum Noir. Now, Spectrum Noir is something really special, so if you've not managed to get it, do seize the moment now. And we will let you know that if you do want to get involved today, we have got Clearpay. Now, we've had Clearpay. That is such a good noise.
Oh, thank you.
I really like that. We have done Clearpay for a little bit of time now, but it's not something that we've really mentioned on air before, is it?
It's not, no. It has been, as you said, on the website for a wee while. It is only available to the UK at the moment, so we didn't want to continuously shout about it and then feel some of you guys were left out, but it is something, you know, here that we're shouting about because we're so proud that we've got it, you know, and it helps you at home. So maybe you're wanting to invest in a die cutting machine, you know, but then maybe, you know, it is always going to be a considered purchase. You know, it could be that your range of embossing folders, depending on your situation, could be a considered purchase. The fact is now that we're able to actually spread that cost with the Clearpay is such a really good thing. It means that you can be in charge of your money as well. You know, you're not got it all coming out in a winner, but you've got it like every 2 weeks and that as well. It's so good. And then when you think about it, you know, for instance, if we take our embossing folders, you know, that first Clearpay, that's like 2 Tesco meal deals.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it.
So if you have a meal deal every day from Tesco's or any supermarket, just cut them out, just have a cheese sandwich instead, and then you've got your embossing folders.
Aren't you? This is the wonderful thing about it. Now, I just want to sort of explain to you exactly what this is in case you're brand new to this. So long as you're buying something or checking out your basket, let's say, and it's over £30 or under £1,000, you have the opportunity to split the cost, okay? Now, I know that sometimes when you hear things like split the cost, you think, okay, well, how much interest am I paying, right? Zero. Zilch, nada, nothing, nout. You are paying 4 installments on your item. So, for example, let's say you bought something today, you checked out your basket, and it was £40 on the nose. You would pay a tenner today. Then in 2 weeks' time, you'd pay another tenner. 2 weeks' time, another tenner. And then your final tenner 2 weeks after that. And that is you done. You do not get any extra cost added onto that. No interest is needed to be paid. And this is the great thing if maybe you've got something happening, I don't know, for example, the cam bell on your car goes, or your washing machine starts to make a funny noise and you think, oh, but I really want a deal that is on air right now. It's no problem at all. You can treat yourself and then just split that cost. One thing I would mention, just because, you know, nice and transparent here as we are, if for whatever reason something happens and then you're unable to maybe pay one of those Clearpay payments, you will get until 11 p.m. the next day to pay that off, kind of risk-free, if you will. If for some reason after that then you can't pay it, you're getting £6 worth is kind of on top of what added, and then you get an extra 7 days. But if you pay it off within that time, within the 4 installments, there is no extra addition to that whatsoever. And just as a reminder, it's here in the UK only right now, so please do bear that in mind. And you can use your Clearpay with, you know, your standard debit card, your credit card, your MasterCard, etc., etc. So if you do want to find out more about it, just head on over to our website because it's dead easy to find. Click on what you want, then go to the exit box and you will see the Clearpay option right there. It's literally a one-click job. It's dead easy, isn't it?
It really is. And the other thing as well is you don't need to wait until you've done your final payment to get the product.
True.
You know, you give us the first payment, the Clearpay payment, and it's on its way to you.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? It's great. It's so good. I just love it. I love the fact that, you know, yes, we've had it for a while, but we are able to shout about it as well here in the UK. And then something you might want to put on your Clearpay if you wanted to, and that is, I was about to say a lovely little starter set. There's nothing little about it, that's for sure. And this is giving you the option and the ability now to do your scoring, your boxes, your envelopes if you want to. You can then do some embossing when it comes to shapes. You've got your guides as well. We are giving you Centura Pearl cardstock. We're giving you our ever popular straight tape runner as well. That's your scoring starter kit with the 10 sheets, 22 metres of adhesive as well, £44, $46. Or it is available within your Clearpay of 4 instalments of £11. So just to reiterate what I said a moment ago, you pay £11 and then it is instantly on its way to you. You don't have to wait until it's all paid up. Win-win.
It is an absolute win-win, and this really is sensational for people who are brand new. You know, when you start something new like a hobby, you don't necessarily know all of the things you need and all of the things that are just cool to have, right? This is the stuff that really is a need. We have got so many elements within here that you will use on a day-to-day basis. And the cool thing about this being a sort of starter kit is that it is all in one. So you can make cards with this, boxes with this, envelopes with this. You can add details to things. You can do so much with this, and you truly will use a lot of these day in, day out, whether you're day one of crafting or day 1001 in your crafting journey. So it's great you've got it all here in one go, especially when we've got that sensational discount for you too. If you would like to treat yourself and you're thinking, Min and Arin, do you fancy having a little nosy about how we can use some things? I've got just the guy for you. What are we doing, Craigle?
Right, Jill, let's have a look at, well, we're going to start with the scoreboard first that you get within the set. Now, every crafter out there do need a scoreboard. It's something that you're going to use on a daily basis. It's something that I use on a daily basis, simply by making your own card blanks, because yes, of course, out there you can buy packs of card blanks and envelopes included, but with us you can do your own card blanks with our cardstock, then make your own envelopes and then decorate your own envelopes with what we're about to show you just shortly. But let's go in with our score master here. Now, what I want to point out first and foremost, yours does not come with a black line down the centre. We do that here, and it is a really good tip. We do it down the centre, which is 4 inches. So that just means if you're going to be doing any of your concept cards, your projects where you need to line up edge to edge, it's easier to have one corner. For instance, let's take a little bit of cardstock here. So if I need to score from one corner to another, for instance, this one here, let's look. Score line on both sides. Let's use this 2-inch mark as a guide. I've got 2 inches here. So if I go from corner to corner, can we see, I don't know where the I don't know what is the exact one.
Yeah.
Whereas by having a black line down the centre, it means I can then go from one corner and I know that I am in the exact same line that we can see here. So that's why we have black lines down ours. Yours doesn't come with that, but I would recommend that you do that. It's a really good tip. So there we go. So we've got that one. Now, within this one here, yes, it enables you to make your own card blanks by scoring. You can do your concept cards, so you can do your side stepper, your Z-fold cards, pop-out cards, all of them, you could be doing them. One side is inches, and then the opposite side is centimetres. So depending on which way that you like to work, you've got that option. What you also get right in the top, yours also comes included with your scoring tool. So I'm going to get mine, which is here. So you've got your scoring tool, but then what you've also got is your burnishing end as well to burnish your cardstock. So let's do it plain and simple. We want to do a standard size A5 card blank. So I've got a piece of A4 cardstock. I like to use it in inches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place it up against the left-hand side, and there's a little edge here. So I'm going to place it up to the side here. Now, A4 is a bit and a bob and a dash. It's not exact 1/4 inch or anything like that. So half of A4, I know it is the line before the 6-inch mark. So I like to do it lightly and a few times. So what we can then do is that gives us our professional scored line. I know we can just see it here and no more. So where you've got your card blanks already pre-done, you've now got it where you can do your own. Take the opposite side and then burnish it, and there is your professional card blank. What I want to point out as well, and this is something even to this day people will say, I did not know that. If we turn it over with yours onto the back, can you see here we've got a couple of millimetres overlay? Mm-hmm. That's normal. What that does, Becky, that enables you to open your card with absolute ease. So please don't trim off that couple of millimetres. That is on purpose, because if it is bang on exact, when you're trying to open, whereas having that overlay, that enables you to open your card with absolute ease. So at that point there, you could do any different size card blank that you want. What it also enables you to do, Becky, is to do your boxes. It is a box maker. And this, just so many things about it, I adore, like you do at home. What we'll say is you've got 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, all the way up to 8 inch, and you can do it at 1/8 of an inch as well. This is actually, and it's engraved into your scoreboard, so it's not going to wipe off or rub off. There we go, we can see it all the way along here. If I come down to the bottom here, we've also got 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, 4 inch. That isn't actually accurate. That's not accurate. That is a couple of millimeters out. And this is where we've got box base engraved down at the bottom, and then we've got box lid at this side here. So you don't need to worry about different size cardstock. To make a box, you use the exact same card size. So what I mean by that is I've got a couple of pieces of cardstock here. You can do pattern paper, colour cardstock, acetate, anything like that you can use. So what I'm going to do, let's make sure that it is exactly the same size, which it is. So my card here is 6 by 8 1/4. So let's say that we want to do a box that is 1 inch in depth. We can do that. So what I'm going to do is pop it up to the left hand side, and then at my 1 inch, because we're wanting to do 1 inch in depth, I'm going to score all the way down, and then I'm going to turn it on itself, and we're going to score all the way down. We're going to turn it round, score at 1 inch all the way down, and you can do the depth, whatever depth that you want. It's entirely up to you. You're in full control. So this has now given me my instant measurement for my lid. So what I'm going to do is set that to the side. Exactly the same size cardstock. We're going to butt this up to the right hand edge, and what we're going to do this time is we're going to have a look at the 1 inch mark here, and then we're going to score. Now, I find it difficult to score from the bottom going up, so what I like to do is turn my scoreboard around. So it is upside down, but it doesn't matter because I can still see the 1 inch. So I'm going to do exactly the same, Becky, as I'm going to go all the way around and score.
Perfect. Linny's in saying, how did we craft before the scoreboard and the big score? One of my favourite craft room tools. I think a lot of people will agree with Linny there, wouldn't they?
Yes, absolutely. Something that I use on a daily basis, whether I'm doing little videos, whether I'm prepping, whether I'm doing my Facebook Lives, I am always using my, we all do it. As you say, it is a daily staple within your crafting.
And don't forget, you can watch back on any of those videos on our website at your leisure. And also, don't forget that we do have some fabulous elements that you can treat yourself to add extra content, such as the USB. I'm going to be telling you more about that in just a mo or 3.
So I've now got my 2, which are, you know, you would think exactly the same, but one of them, the box base, is just a couple of millimeters out. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a little notch into each corner. So where we've got the square in the corner, we're taking a little notch. So we can then take this one. We're going to go in. So if you like to make little chocolates, if you like to make tablet, if you like to make bath bombs, if you like to make candle waxes.
Oh my gosh, we said that at the same time.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
It's like one mind shared between
We're like
both
so
of us.
in sync. Sorry, Americans out there. Sorry, Erin.
Did you say NSYNC? No, InSync.
InSync.
Oh, right. Oh, do you remember NSYNC? Oh, Justin. Anyway.
Is that Justin Timberlake?
Aye, it is, yeah. I knew you were an NSYNC fan. We have had a question, by the way, from Tim. Hello, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
I have the small scoreboard, but I struggle to use it when I'm using an A4 sheet. Any tips?
So small scoreboard, are you meaning small as in our score master, or so we think it is the score master. So this is our standard size. Maybe what you're also meaning, Tim, is within this set, we also have the box maker. Now, what I think you might be meaning this one, because the reason I think you mean that is it does work with our Ultimate Pro. So this is our Ultimate Pro that we'll go over. And what I mean by that is, can we see how we've got little notches? Mm-hmm. This sits in to our Ultimate Pro. So this gives us our left-hand side that we can butt up to and our right-hand side. Now, the reason that I think Tim means this one is because you can use it as a standalone scoreboard. However, If you are making boxes or that, you've got nothing to butt your cardstock up to. There's no edge. So what I would highly recommend is if you have something like a non-stick mat, or maybe some, you know, your things like, I'm going to say it, you know, things like blue tack or anything like that, to secure it to your glass mat or your work desk. Something that secures it so it doesn't move. And then what I would do is, if you are using your cardstock, I would get it right up to the edge, and then what I would do is I would use our low tack tape to hold it in, or you can use one of our temporary sprays onto the back. It won't mark your cardstock, it won't mark your scoreboard. So yes, you can use these as standalone. They are initially designed to go in with your Ultimate Pro, but yeah, use it as a standalone, but I would secure it to whatever surface and then secure your cardstock as well. Hopefully that helps. If it's not what you meant, Tim, do let Becky know, and we will see if we can answer your question again.
Absolutely. Thank you for that, lovely Tim and Craig. Kathy is saying, I'm loving these refresher courses on core items. Great to be reminded of all the things they can do. That's so true, because you have them and then you almost get into a routine of what you use them for.
You do.
Right?
So what I've done with this one here, Becky, is where I have nicked out the edges with my scissors, I'm going in with my tape runner, which you get included, and I'm going round onto these little tabs. And then what I'm doing is folding them in, so we're creating 90-degree angle. So we're joining them up into here. We're going all the way around. And I'm using white cardstock to show you, but this could be your pattern cardstock. You know, we've got things like our paper pads, blush and blue florals on the show, as well as retro rainbow. So it could be anything like that. So now that I've created these ones, can we see how they look pretty much identical? And I'm going to be honest with you, I can't remember which one's lead and which one's base. Doesn't matter, because as soon as I start to join them, so I can tell this one is the base, slots in. And that's because this at the top is accurate, so whether it's inches or centimetres, but the measurements at the bottom are a couple of millimetres out, that enables you to create your boxes here. Now, I've gone over that, but that's not everything that you're getting. Yes, you can score, yes, you can create your boxes, but then what you can do as well is we have got our envelope maker as well, our envelope box. So it does just exactly that, creates your envelopes, or it creates envelope boxes. Now what that is an envelope style, but instead of being a flat envelope, you've got a different of width or height within the envelope. So if you like decoupage, you can do that. Depth, that's the word I was thinking of. So if you like your decoupage but you don't want to do a box, you'd rather have an envelope, you can do it with this one. Now, going back to Tim's question, this one is also one that works perfectly with the Ultimate Pro, where it slots into the Ultimate Pro. But it is so easy to use this as a standalone because it's this part that you're using, Becky. So you don't have to worry about butting up to the edges of your Ultimate Pro or that. No. It's this section here.
CJ did ask a question saying that CJ has an issue with wonky envelopes. How can CJ fix the lopsided is the word that they use, not wonky. Lopsided envelopes. How can we fix that?
That really is to do with the scoring. So what I would suggest is, what you could do is, it's going back to rescoring it. It's all to do with the engineering, you know, between Sarah and her dad to come up with these engineering of the Ultimate Pro, the scoreboard, etc., many years ago. So what I would always suggest is, it is key that you score in the correct places. If you are limited within the cardstock and you've only got a certain piece, so for instance, let's just say for argument's sake we're making an envelope, but let's just say I've scored there, I've scored that line, Becky, and I'm like, oh dash, I've scored it in the wrong place. What I would do is I would turn it over and I would lightly press that embossed line back into the cardstock. So we've now got a smooth cardstock. Then you can go and rectify it by scoring the correct line. Perfect. So that's what I would say. If it is totally wonky, it is to do with the scoring. So you will have to ensure that you score at the exact line, but there is ways that you can rectify it by pushing back in the embossed line.
Perfect, thank you very much for that. And this tool as well can help with
it can indeed.
That too, can't it?
Please don't be scared when you see this. It looks like a lot, but once you get familiar with it, it's very, very simple. Now, what you've got within this one here is our envelope box creator. You do get step-by-steps in that as well. If you prefer millimeters, you've got millimeters here. So you can do flat envelopes. You can do envelopes that are 18 millimeters in depth, 24 millimeters in depth. But then another one where you've got flat envelope, but by doing it in inches, ½ an inch depth, 3/4 of an inch depth, or 1 inch depth. Now, I always go with our inches. So let's say we want to make an envelope box that is, let's say, 3/4 of an inch in depth. So this is our guide here. Now, instantly, we've got white, we've got blue, and we've got yellow. So that tells me anything in white, I would need A4 cardstock or US letter size. Anything in blue, I would need A3 cardstock or 12 by 12 cardstock. And anything that's yellow, I would need cardstock that is a lot larger. So that is your guide here. Now it tells me, let's say, Becky, I want to make an envelope box that is 5½ inches by 6 inches. So I'm having a look here. So 5½ inches, so I'm going all the way along, and I'm meeting up to where it says 6 inches. So I need a piece of cardstock that is 10 by 10, and I'm going to use position H and I. The one other thing that we need to do is use position 1 and 3. So we need to remember that, position 1 and 3, and I'm using H and I. So let's take our blush and blue florals that we've got on the show. So what I'm going to do here is let's take this one here. So I need to cut this to 10 by 10. So let's bring in my guillotine, and we're going to use our large guillotine. Trim this one down.
Seriously limited now on that. We started off the show with 70% ish gone, but it's even less than that now. So if you do want it, we're at 80% gone. So do seize the moment on that if you want it.
Like your scoreboard, Becky, this is something you're going to use every day.
True.
I always use mine.
So true.
So now I've got my cardstock that's 10 by 10. So what we're going to do is we're going to come in. Now I don't know if we can see this, Nicola, but I'm sure we can with your incredible camera work. What we've got here, see how we've got all of these steps? Oh, look at that, awesome. This is position 1, 2, 3, and 4. So remember, we need to use position 1 and we need to use position 3. So there we go. So there we are. So what I'm going to do with this one here is we're going to go into position 1, which is here. So we're going into this angle here. And what you've got is you've got notches up here as well, Becky. So it all sits, it's helpful, it's not flying over the place, it is not off the grid, so to speak. Do you know what I mean? It's all held together. Yeah. So this is now what we're going to do. Remember, we also need position H and I. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to score at position H, which is here. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to lift this one up and I'm going to go into position 3. And we've got the 3 there, and that's where I'm putting it. So I need to do position H again. So that is now giving me my 3/4 of an inch in depth.
Yes.
So we can see between my thumbs there, that's 3/4 of an inch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it completely on itself. So the opposite side as to what I've just done. So we're going to do that again. Position 1, which is H. And then I'm going to lift that up and go into notch number 3. And we're going to do that again. Position H. Now what we can do is if I turn them to the other two sides, this is where we're going to use position I. So we're going to do it into notch number 1. So let's look for the letter I, which is here. So we're going to score, so let's make sure that's all held in. So we're going to score, we're going to lift, go into position 3, and we're going to score at I again. And then what you'll also see at this point, it crosses over. So you see that we've got our crossover here. That's key in a moment. But last but not least, let's go to the opposite side, position 1. We're going to score at I. We're going to lift to position 3. and we're going to score at position I again, Becky.
Perfect.
And that is now given our area in the middle for a 5.5 by 6 inch card blank, if you are going to do decoupage. So let's fold all our lines. Take your score tool, it's always worthwhile giving it a burnish. So we're going to go all the way around. So scoring and
don't
burnishing.
Forget that tool comes in with the set as well.
It does indeed.
Thinking it is saying nothing compares to the envelope box maker. I had 2 other brands and had wonky envelopes until I purchased this.
Exactly. So many crafters say that to us as well, Becky.
Yeah, that's great.
Now what I'm going to do with this one, so let's say this is the top of our envelope here. So this is now the base. So what we want to do is we want to create little tabs. Now this is going to be clear once I actually do it. There's a little overlap triangle. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut that one out there. And the embossed lines, that shows that triangle. All you're going to do is follow. And then when it comes to this one here, what I'm going to do, in actual fact, Becky, what I need to do is score and cut down to there. This is the triangle that I want to snip out completely. So that gives me my little tab. So I'm going to do exactly the same on this side. So I'm going to cut down to that first score line. So let's take out that triangle, and then let's take that triangle there, snip that one out. That gives me my tab here. And then if I go to this top bit, what I can do, Becky, is I can basically take out that full large triangle. So I'm going to snip that one, and then I'm going to snip that one. And then I can go to this side, snip, and then snip. So there is our envelope coming together. So on these tabs, let's pop our adhesive, which you get within this bundle as well, which is fab. So that then, like our box, Becky, what we're going to do is we're going to fold that over on itself, and then I'm going to get my fingers in and press. So I'm going to press, giving it a little bit of a rub, because when the heat builds up between your fingers, it makes your adhesive even more sticky. So doing that one, we're going to fold that one over, and we're going to press, give that a little bit of a rub. And I'm going to use my tape runner, but can you see how this is coming together as your box? So what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to add my adhesive there and there. Let's just pop our tab as well back. Then what we can do, bring it back upright. Let's fold them ones in, Becky. So I'm going to fold that in. I'm going to press. Little tip for you, and it's something that I always do, is I take my ruler or something that is long, and then what we can do is press that in. I'm going to secure this side as well. Now we have got a 5.5 by 6 inch envelope box that is 3/4 of an inch in depth. And then all that you need to do is, if you've got anything like our wax seal kits that we've got on our website, maybe a little bit of Velcro if you want to, multitude. We do it on the website. I'm not sure if it's in stock at the moment, but it's available for the UK when it is in stock. It's called envelope gum. It's like a glue, so all that you do is you go around the edges, let it dry, and then you've got your envelope seal. Moisten it with a little bit of water. So it is currently out of stock. You can pop your email in and you'll be notified when it's back in stock. So you can use it as a normal envelope, but then there we go. So your cardstock, so whether it's pattern cardstock, block cardstock, that is how you can make an envelope box. So it's a nice alternative to a box, but it's still an envelope style. So you've got that as well. And then we've not even touched upon the scoreboard. So you can use that in the same way that we use the Score Master, but it does, if you've got Ultimate Pro, it will slot into that as well. It's an absolute, not often I'm going to tell you it is a must, but something like that is an absolute must, is your key core crafting essentials in your craft room.
Oh, key core crafting, yes! Love that. Quite a few of you are treating yourself to these today, and a lot of you are saying just how important they are. Bubble and Squeak saying envelope box is great. I love making envelopes as well as the envelope boxes. I think it's so nice to have a custom envelope or box for handmade cards. Totally and absolutely agree with you there. I was looking at that wonderful box then, and if you think you put a little bit of a hook and eye on it or Velcro on it,
Yes.
for example, you know, keep your love letters in or old postcards. You can do so much with it, you really can. Bubble and Squeak had another question actually about our wonderful boards on embossing sections such as this one. Doesn't have the Ultimate Pro and can't see the grooves that are in them. So for example, if you imagine the teddy bear on here, you put your piece of paper over it and then all of a sudden it's, I can't see the teddy bear. Have you got any tips on that?
That is completely normal. Please don't think as though you're doing something wrong or, you know, something's incorrect. That is absolutely normal. Of course, when you're going to layer your cardstock over the top, you're not going to see through it. So going back to actually Tim's question, this also naturally fits in with the Ultimate Pro because you've got the little loops at each side. But what you don't need to worry about is having the Ultimate Pro. If not, you can secure it onto your glass mat or your surface with a little bit of tape or something like that, whatever you feel easier using. But what I'm going to do is I am just going to sit it onto my glass mat, and as we say, Becky, it is normal that as soon as you put your cardstock on, you're not going to see through it. So what we're going to do is, this is what I like to do, is I take my low tack tape and I do secure my cardstock just to the side, and I don't secure it all the way round, Becky, because you are going to have to lift and look. You're going to have to do a little bit of a peekaboo. Absolutely. So I secure one side, and then what I do is I start off, so I have a look, and then I can see that we need to go and start. So I'm working my way around, and every now and again I am lifting and peeking. So I'm lifting and peeking, following my groove. I'm getting into my groove. And if you go out of the groove, so for instance, if I go like that and I score on the back, don't worry, you're not going to see that on the opposite side. You're only going to see the score lines. So you're going to lift and peak. So you can work your way round. So you will get to a point as well where you'll naturally start to flow because you can feel that the actual ball tool is working its way round.
And the ball tool does kind of sort of nuzzle into it, doesn't it?
It's a perfect dimension to just hug itself into the score line. And then what you can then do is work your way around. So carry on. So we're going to go all the way around. So I'm only going to do half to show you. The other thing that you can do is if you have, you know, if you stay in a hotel and you get the tiny little bars of soap, if you do what I do and do a Ross from Friends and take as much as I can from the hotel room, the things that you're meant to take, do you know what I mean? Not like light bulbs and TVs and that sort of stuff. Things like, you know, your soaps and that, although most things are on the wall now. They're in the hand pump.
Oh, I can't stand that.
No, I can't either. It's like,
do you even take the stuff that you know you'll never need?
Of course I do.
AKA shower caps.
Absolutely.
Shoe cleaning kit.
Thread. I'll take it.
Yeah,
I will take it.
Same.
Now, I've done one half of the teddy bear. You can carry on all the way round. So that's how I do it. I secure it with my tape. I leave one side free so I can peek. So if I lift this one up, you can see we start to get the score line. Now remember, that little bit of off the track bit that I done, you don't see it. You do not see it. So don't worry about going off the track, but that is the way that I tend to do it. So you are doing nothing wrong. You won't see the design throughout the cardstock, but that's how you can rectify it.
So tell us more about the soap.
Oh, yeah, sorry, yeah, that would help. If you were to have a little bit of an issue by doing the scoring, take your ball tool and then take the soap and, you know, just pop the end of the ball tool onto the soap. And then what it does is it just loosens it slightly. It gives it more of an easy flow if you want, because you've got that kind of like a wax seal around the edge of your scoreboard. So it, yeah, it's a nice easy way to do it as well, although most of you will have no issue at all with the scoring tool with it.
Absolutely, thank you for that. Hello again, welcome to our Craft, Chat and Create show. Lots of you getting chatty, which we love about this show. Couple of questions in.
Yes.
Kaz is in first, no relation to Tom. Morning, quick question for Craig on the envelope maker. When you are deciding the size you need to choose, do you choose the exact size of your card, or should you add half an inch on each side?
Rightio, really good question on that one. No, go by the exact measurements when it comes to your guide, because you need to think the way that the engineering, the lines, the points, the numbers, the letters, they're all specifically designed to work with measurements. So yes, go exactly as the guide says. If you do go a little bit over, then potentially the score lines are going to be in the wrong place, so they're not going to join together. If you find that it is a little bit of a snug fit, what you do is you do the opposite way. You trim your card blank a little bit smaller. Because yes, it does happen, it could be a little bit too snug. That's because the envelope is the correct size, it's the card blank that's just slightly a bit bigger. So trim your cardstock, don't change the measurements for your cardstock for your envelope.
Love it. Another question back in from Tim. Hiya, Tim. Tim is saying, scoreboard. Oh, sorry. He says, I meant this I have the small scoreboard, but when I measure A4 card, etc., how do I know where halfway is, please?
Rightio. So I did touch upon that. So you maybe didn't see that or joined in after. So if I go back to this one here, so you can do exactly the same with this loose one. So you're obviously, a black line is going to help. Now, half of A4. Now, many people will say when it comes to A4, it must have been a guy that decided on the measurements, because A4 is not exact. It's a blob and a dash. Do you know what I mean? It's not even 11.5 inches,
no.
And it's not even 8.25 inches. So therefore, to keep it very, very simple, half of A4 is 1 notch before the 6 inch. So there's my 6 inch line there. So that one, so it's 5 and 8/8, is it?
I'm smiling and nodding.
Anyway, it is the line before the 6 inch.
Yeah.
That is your halfway point for your A4. Other than that, most, I should say, card blank sizes are to the inch. They're 5x5, 6x6, 5x7, etc., etc. So A4 is the only one that is tricky. Okay. You guys stateside, I think, that are watching, I think your letter size is more on point. I think that's more to 1/4 inch. But there we go. Just keep in mind, half of A4 is 1 line before the 6 inch. That's going to give you that perfect score. It's going to give you that couple of millimeters overflow as well to give you that ability to open the card with ease. So hopefully that helps.
That does indeedy. A question in from Kerry now saying, what would you use the other end of a ball tool for?
So presuming it's this one here, so you've got, it's more like a little bit of a spatula kind of look on this end here. You can use that as an alternative score tool. So, you can hold it this way. So let's take our scoreboard again. So if I open this one up, so you can go onto that other side and then score. So you're going to get more of a finer point. So it is an additional scoring tool. It's just a different design. But this is the side that I would use to burnish my cardstock, because you've got your flat edge at one side. So I always score with the rounded edge and then I burnish with the other edge, although you can score with both sides if you want.
Love it, love it. Sarah's in saying, Craig is a crafty Jedi master. With being up so late last night with his Facebook Live and still being full of crafty energy this morning. What time were you on your live till last night?
So 10 o'clock here in the UK. So I finished Cartload, I went home, got a quick bite to eat, and then I was live on my Facebook giving you a preview as to launch day later on. So thank you so much. I think we finished about 11:30 last night, nice. UK time. Yep.
Woof.
And funny, I came in and I did say to Erin, it's funny, you can have like 12 hours sleep, get up the next day and you feel, I think I got about 4 or 5 hours sleep and I just feel invigorated today.
Yeah, because you slept really, really deep.
Yeah.
But also you woke up at the right time for you.
Well, I don't know about the right time. Don't know if 5 a.m. is the right time. You were 3 a.m.
Yeah, I was, yeah. Thank you so much, Craig, for that if you are new and you're thinking, I fancy treating myself to some of them goodies, you can today, and you can get a discount. It is on Clearpay here in the UK, which is just £11. You pay £11 today, it will be delivered to you, and then each 2 weeks you pay off another £11 of the instalment, 0 interest. I know! You are getting all of that, including the likes of the lovely Centura Pearl card, which is this pearlescent card here that the wonderful Craigle was using. So if you do seize the moment, you'll get that, as well as the glue and everything else. So do treat yourself if you so wish. Now, you will have noticed that Craig mentioned again that we have got that launch. Oh, it's so soon I'm allowed to mention it. I'm talking around about like, oh, what, 24 minutes and 16 seconds-ish. I'm going to be able to mention what it is. But yes, that launch is so close, it's definitely worth sticking around for. I'll tell you about it at 10. I know that some of you have already found it on the Tinterweb. Oh, you lot. If you do want to shop the show, you can have a little sneak preview. As well as that wonderful kit, we have got for you the Ultimate Pro. Now, this is the board that Craig picked up earlier on. And if you are new, this is a fabulous bit of kit. So in here, you are going to get elements where you can make things such as your envelope box, but you get additions within this. So we are bringing to you this tool, which has your little clasp at the top here. My advice is, whenever you're using this tool, always think, how do I know what tool it is? You can tell what tool it is because it says it here. Now, I know that sounds really silly, but the reason I'm saying that is because you always want to make sure this side's facing up, because then your tools don't fall out all over the place. So in here, you are going to get a massive amount of tools, including a ruler that slots in, including your cutter to cut your pieces down. You are getting different scores in here and different sizes, measurement areas, and so much more. You also get an information booklet that tells you how to use all of the different panels. Not just that though, I'm getting today, and I will let you know, what I'm about to bring to you is so epic, it should cost you nearly 45 quid, but it's for free. This is a USB. Now, if you've never worked with USBs before, oh my goodness, your life is about to be revolutionized, especially if you're like me and you know, you're sometimes crafting kind of on a train, etc. And maybe you can't get onto the internet, for example. You don't need to with this. So you're gonna pop this into your computer, that can be your laptop, whatever it is, and you are gonna get so many different makes on this. In fact, you're getting 33 exclusive makes on this, and they include loads of things. So like the pieces that you can see on the front, but also you're getting like 3D cards in here. You can get 3D gift tags ideas on these as well. And just as a reminder, you plug it in and you are ready and raring to go. This is for free today, which is mega considering how much it should be. And just pay attention to that Clearpay payment there. Just a tenner for each of those 4 installments. It's really, really special. This is a great one if you have been maybe wondering, should you use the Ultimate Pro? Do you fancy getting it? Today could be your day for using it. And remember as well that if you are new, then you are getting that 20% discount too. So it's a really lovely one for you to be able to treat yourself to. Kerry is saying, thank you for the advice with the ball tool. That makes a lot of sense. She's also saying, Kerry's also saying she might be getting one for her daughter as well. Oh, that's such a gorgeous, gorgeous gift. Especially as you're saving more than you're spending, which I always like, if you're treating yourself to this. So well done to anyone who is getting it. This is one of those tools, especially with the USB, which is extra special. Has someone stolen your porridge, Craig? You look a bit...
So, when I bought my Ultimate Pro, once again, before I started with Crafter's Companion, and I remember it crystal clear, I paid £89.99 for the Ultimate Pro and the Ultimate Pro alone. No additional boards, no USB, no extras, no nothing. And I thought, oh my God, I have got a really good deal.
Yeah.
what you're getting for that one, that is so good. So I tell you what, actually, before I go through the Ultimate Pro, Becky, I know you've got some kind of samples, don't you, that you can make using the USB?
I have indeed, you do. On the USB, you're getting 33 projects in total. And again, remember, even if you're on like a train, or even if you're, I don't know, like we've just had our road dug up recently for, you know, fibre optics.
I'm wondering where you're going with this.
Yeah. So basically, my internet was down, is what I'm trying to say.
Got
my internet was down.
I
Couldn't get on to the internet. No. With this, it doesn't matter at all. These are the projects, some of them, that you can create from this. Look how lovely that is as a little gift bag. Again, it's a month till Valentine's Day. Make little Valentine's gifts for your friends, maybe. You know, like a little bonbon bag, for example. You've got so many wonderful little elements that you could use here. Put little notepads in it as well for all of those love notes that you might get. Do you know what I mean, Craig? He's giving me a right look. You can make some boxes as well. Look at this one. Oh, all of these types of designs and so many more are on this, which you are getting for free. So if you do fancy it, today is definitely the day to grab it. And this is a really cool tool, even aside from the USB, right?
Yeah, it really is. I would say it's kind of what through Sarah and Crafter's Companion to like global domination that it is. Now within this one, it is a nice comprehensive crafting work desk, a work area. Now what we've got within one side here is we have got scoring lines. So once again, this is really good. Yes, if you're a beginner, but then what you're going to do is you're going to find that you will be using elements either on a daily basis, every 2, every 3 days. It's always at the side. It's always at the side of me in my craft room. Now what this side enables you to do is I'm going to then tip it up and see if we can see it again, all nicely engraved so it doesn't rub off. But what we've got here, and so I know we can slightly see an engraved side, so I'm going to read what it says. It does say gatefold A5, concertina A5. We've got gatefold A4, trifold A4, half-fold A5, 5-inch square. We've also got half-fold A4. Just here where my finger is, we can just see it engraved as well. It's really clear when it's up front. Of course, we are going through cameras and TVs, but it's all there. So that is so easy to do these shaped cards. If you like your embossing detail on the side of your card, so if I bring in my card here, what you can do is once we've got, here we go, let's bring this one in here. So if we've got our lovely card blank, but say we wanted an embossed detail on the side, all that I would do, Becky, is I'm going to start it at a point here. You can start wherever, but you can simply, tell you what, let's go the opposite side so we get the embossed detail on the opposite way. So what I've done with the teddy bear, what we're going to do is exactly the same, and then you can even leave it just as it is embossed, or come in with your scissors and then you can trim all the way around, and then you get an embossed design all the way throughout. So that opens up the scope for different size card blanks. This is where these two little prongs here, this is where things like your scoreboard, whether it is the embossed one with your teddy bear or this one, it hugs it in just nicely. It's all sitting in just nicely, so you've got that nice and secure. But let's start as well from the other side, as Becky said. So on this side, yours does have the black clip, as Becky showed you. On this side here, you've got a basic envelope maker. So whereas I showed you the envelope box creator, this makes all of your basic envelopes, and the same idea, but on a lot more of a simplistic layout. All of these are embossed detail. So if you want to emboss the edges of your envelopes, what you can then do, sit it up against the notches that we can see here, and then emboss it with your tool. So you've got 4 designs. You've got a lovely corner for your card blanks or envelopes. This one is where it enables you to do things like your pop-out cards or your K cards, anything like that. So what you would then do, let's take this oval. So you would then place this up against these little notches here. we would then sit it up, and then in the same way that I have used the teddy bear and the one a moment ago, all that I would do is follow it all the way round. So we can go into here. So maybe you don't have your oval dies with you, but what you can then do is then gives you your emboss. What I would then do, Becky, is I would then go in that way. So I would match these up there and there, up against the notch. So we'll do that again. And then I would carry on all the way around. So we carry on all the way around. We can then chop that out. That's an aperture, you know, for a swinging card, a K card, anything like that, or just an embossed detail. You've got that option. You've got the love heart. You've got a few different designs as well. Going to come back to this one in a moment. So if you are unlike me and you have difficulty creating bows, it's all thought for you. So let's open up this side. So this side is perfect for you storing any of your additional scoreboards or embossing boards. You've got that option there. If I then go into this side here, can we see? So this is where Becky explained, if you then do it the other way, like this one, it all stays in place. If I do it the other way, and you will do it, because trust me, I do it all the time. So if you open the other way, this is where it's all on the opposite side. So that's when it can fall out. So that was why Becky was saying, if you have it so that this is facing upwards, then you open it, it's all nicely housed. So what we've got is you've got your booklet here. So this tells you additional cards that you could do, card making, your bow maker, box maker, K cards, pop-out cards. It tells you about your paper trimmer, the accessories, slimline cards, concertina cards, shape cards. So this is a nice basic one to start with, but then you've got the Ultimate Pro, the USB for the Ultimate Pro that you can follow. You do get 2 scoring tools, so you get 2 of them. You've got your little prongs here. This then is what enables you to create your bows. So I'll show you that in a second. You've got your cutting blade. Now this houses a standard UK Stanley knife blade and easily replaceable. And then what you've got is you've got your ruler, but what this enables you to do is if we go into the middle, we've got more features that I'll show you in a moment, but this now becomes your paper trimmer, Becky. So that sits nicely into the middle. So what we're going to do is let's take a piece of that cardstock. So you have got inches at the top here, and you've got centimetres at the bottom here, so whatever you feel easiest to follow. So what I'm going to do, say I wanted a card strip that is 4 inches. So I've popped it to my 4-inch mark. I've closed my trimmer, and what I've done as well, make sure that it's pressed up against this lip down at the bottom. That's going to make it completely straight. What I can then do is I can then come in with my cutting blade. That sits and houses just nicely within this aperture. So we're going to keep that straight. Then what we're going to do, work our way down, and we've got our card that's nicely cut. So you've got your paper trimmer included. Where I showed you that oval a moment ago, you've got additional shapes that you could do, so that's good for your shaker cards, K cards, pop-out cards. But then, if we then show you this side here, another basic way to create boxes. So we have got box lid on this side, we've got box base on this side, and you've got some more embossed detail all the way round. So if you are going in the caravan, if you're going to a craft club or a craft crop and you're wanting to take the basics with you, you can house it all here. It's got your score in line, so you can do your card blanks, you can do your boxes if you want, you can do your envelopes if you want, you've got your embossed detail, you've got your measurements for centimetres or inches, you can do your pop-outs if you want, you've got all of the bits that's nicely held together within the back here. Once again, you've got storage. You don't necessarily have to use this for your scoring boards. Maybe you want to put some of your pens in here, some cardstock in here. You absolutely can do that. But the key thing, it is the Ultimate Pro, because what you can even do is come along and use these to create your bows. So now you can wrap your ribbon all the way round, so you can have little diddy ones like that. You can have even smaller ones by popping them all the way here. Make extremely large ones if you want. And if you even want to pop even more into your Clearpay basket, we've got ribbons on the show as well that would just finish off your cards, your projects. You've got that wrapped there. So that is why the Ultimate Pro, for beginners, for many that have been crafting for many years that's never had the Ultimate Pro, has invested in the Ultimate Pro because it's ease of use, but it's all compact together. So you don't have lots and lots of loose toys. Well, they're crafting toys to us, but tools, and it's all together. It does it all in a winner.
That's wonderful. Bob and Squeak's got another question, which is a good one. Is there a maximum GSM thickness of cards that you would use with the Ultimate Pro, say for the Boxer?
That's a really good question. Really good question. I would say no. What I would say is it's trial and error on your behalf. So I've done so many times. I've done our Centura Pearl, which is 300 GSM. I've done Hunky Dory's Adorable Scoreable, 350 GSM. I've done their mirror card. You can do construction acetate. So what I would say is try it yourself. If you're using a very, very, very heavy cardstock and you're finding it so hard to emboss, then I would say maybe it's a little bit too thick. You know, something like 400 GSM, 500 GSM. So I've done all the way up to 350 GSM, no problem at all. Give it a shot. I'm not aware of lots and lots of real heavyweight cardstock easily available, but if you have got some, give it a shot. Any difficulty, then you know by trial and error that it's maybe just a bit too thick. I've never come across something that I've not been able to do it with.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Craig. Loads of you getting in contact with us, which is lovely today. Jane Marie is saying, the Ultimate Pro is one of my best investments. I use it every day. Thank you very much for letting us know that, Jane Marie. Totally and completely, I think a few people would definitely agree with you. It is one of those tools you can use time and time again. The fact that today you're getting the free USB with it is exceptional. And this one, just to let you know, it is the lovely Sarah Davies herself showing you through the 33 exclusive step-by-step tutorials on this, including the likes of cube gift boxes, diagonal open boxes, and so much more, such as this lovely sort of project that I showed you earlier on. They're brilliant, aren't they? And don't you just love the look of this one? I absolutely adore how this is created, especially as you've got that bold on one side and the more delicate on the other. Well, if you like that, you are in the right place, because I've got some treats for you right now. This is your Paisley pattern collection that I'm bringing to you, and if you would like to use this, it's going to be great alongside those USB projects. I have got for you a massive amount of different designs in here. These ones are your 12-inch by 12-inch pieces, and they are double-side patterned paper, and this is 300 GSM, which means you can hear the strength of these ones. Look at the wonderful patterns. They are they're kind of expressive, aren't they? They've got that real nice flashback to the sort of 70s vibe to them, which of course we all know in fashion is having a revival this spring, summer, if the likes of Vogue or anything to go by. I love the colours in here too. You've actually got some of the Pantone colour of the year in this, very, very similar, that very Perry, that kind of purple colour, which is again something really wonderful to bear in mind today for not just this, but also the two card packs, should I say, paper and card collection. You are getting something really special because they pair up so nicely. Today, your price point, you're saving £11.50. Have you seen that Clearpay price? That's wonderful, isn't it? £7.87 is all you have to pay today, and you'll get these delivered to you very, very soon indeed. This isn't all we're bringing to you, though, with the card and the paper. The paper by the paper as well. We have also got your Blush Bloom. So let me show you this one, if I may. And this one again is the paper and the solid. too, so they're complementary colours. This is the one that Craigle used earlier on when he made the Invella box. This is stunning. It is such a beautiful juxtaposition between the blues and the pinks. It really is one of those to make you smile. Can I just let you know that this is so popular that it may well be selling out at some point very soon. We have got a big percentage of this one gone. So if it has been speaking to you or whispering to you, please do add it to your basket and check it out, because if you add it to your basket and you forget to check it out, it will not wing its way to you. But as you can see, you're getting that pad, and you are also going to be getting the massive amount that complements it beautifully. Now let's go for Retro Rainbow. This is a few of our team's absolute favourites and I can totally see why. It is joyous. Get ready to smile. When you look at this, it's just smile inducing. So these again, 300 GSM, nice and strong, 12 inches by 12 inches, meaning you can cut these down to whatever size you want really. This is the design that we are getting, and it just feels so happy. I don't know about you, but when I look at these, it makes me want to don a sun hat and get myself down the beach. It's such a wonderful look and quality. And of course, lots of lovely connotations as well with the rainbows, you know, as always, but throughout the last few years especially. It's a joyous collection that again is complementary with the solid colour pack. If you do want to get those ones, again, you're saving £11.50 today on that one. We did mention on the Ultimate Pro earlier on the ribbon maker, the bow maker, right? Let me bring you some ribbons now, if I may, because these are going to work perfectly with some of the cards I've just brought to you. So let me show you this one first. Just to let you know, these are our, they're like an organza ribbon. And what I mean by that is there's a lovely element of translucency. So if you did want to use, for example, these colours, which I have to say I think would go great with these because they're so complementary, then it's going to work wonderfully. You are getting these in a real deal, saving over 30%. So you're getting 4 different hues in that one. I've then got for you, so this is your caramels. You've also got your lovely lilacs, which I just think will work so nicely as a little bit of a juxtaposition with those ones. And last but by no means least, I've got your orange sunset. This is so zingy and tangy. I think it'd go great with not only the rainbow, but actually with some of your embossing pieces as well. You know, the sunflower we did, that'd work really cool, wouldn't it? Hiya!
Can I just say as well?
Go on.
£2.50 in your Clearpay basket. Do you know what I mean? We'll all need ribbon. It's always one of those, I class it as an essential to check out and, you know, just have in your stash as well. Great.
I'm just thinking what I could nip down the shop and get for £2.50. Not even a sandwich.
No, you can.
No?
Nope, you cannot, no.
£2.50. And that is going to last a lot longer than a sandwich.
Do you know something? Give it another year and a Freddo will be about £2.50.
Oh, don't even get me started. Do you remember when they were a 10pence?
10 pence, I know.
Now you have to remortgage your house.
Exactly.
Anyway.
And it's getting smaller.
Anyway, if you do want to treat yourself to these, you absolutely can. Speaking of treats, we are talking about, 2 minutes, 61 seconds, which would be 3 minutes. Anyway, we are talking mere moments until I can tell you about that launch. So it's definitely worth staying tuned. And whilst you're staying tuned, remember you can check out your baskets, and whilst you're doing that, have a little nosy at this.
Hi, I'm Sarah from Crafters TV, and I'm here to show you how you can get the best deals and shop while you watch during our shows. The best way to watch us is always on Crafters TV. So head over to our homepage and go to Crafters TV Home, where you can see all of our shows, plus exclusive offers, and even shop while you watch. Now, if you want to get involved and comment along, you can head on over to our community pages. Come say hello, ask us some questions and chat along live with us. Or you can watch us on YouTube. Simply head to our Crafters Companion YouTube channel. Got a smart TV? You can even airplay our shows direct onto your big screen or stream us live through YouTube. We're constantly adding new and exciting shows to our schedule, so don't forget to check in. It's never been easy to have us in your living room. It's always fun here at Crafters TV, so come join us as we create every day.
Welcome back to Craft Chat Create. How is your day going so far on a scale of 1 to 10?
100.
Brilliant. We are going to make sure that we ramp it up for you because we've got loads of other goodies. If we've not met before, hey up, my name's Becky. It's lush to be with
Hey
you
up,
today.
Becky.
Hey up, Craig. All right.
I'm good, thank you.
Good. Your shirt's looking lovely today.
Okay, right, you.
He promised that he wasn't wearing the same one yesterday. We have got for you so many goodies and so many treats to make you smile. If you are brand new, get social with us because we love hearing from you. We are live. It's like 1 minute to 10-ish here in the UK. And if you are watching us live, you can message in. So get involved with us on our socials. I want to know what you're up to. I want to know your questions if you're brand new. And also don't forget, if you are brand new, 20% off your first order today, which is always special. And also just remember that you were getting involved with our Club Inspire, which is like a membership scheme here, but it's free. You know, a little bit like when you go into that shop where, what is it? It's not the one where they pat themselves on the bottom. It's
the one that
other one.
starts with Tesk and ends in O.
Yeah,
That
yeah. One. Oh, honestly, it's like being with Miss Marple sometimes. Yeah, that place.
That one.
It's a little bit like there, okay? You get your wonderful Club Inspire for free. You don't have to pay for it every, month. And what you're doing is when you spend, you save, okay? So it's a really wonderful treat for you. One thing I would mention again is if you are new, there are some absolute essentials. And I would say, sometimes when you start a hobby, it's hard to know what the essentials are, right? There are some obvious ones, but there are some that are a bit trickier. Like if you were to take up running, for example, New Year, people taking up running. Some people, you'll know that you need trainers. That's a given, that's a granted. Trainers,
Don't do running.
Yeah, no. Trainers, absolute given. You might not know that you need, like armbands to hold your phone, and you might not know that you need a water bottle to hold your water. You might not know that you need like, sort of rubs, don't you? You need like rubs, don't give me that look. But you do. You do.
Kind of running do you do?
Well, you do for chafing. Like when you get warm. Anyway, all of these things you might not know if you start running. I would like to say, I'm not an expert in this, do your own research, but there are some things that you most certainly know that you need, yeah? If trainers are to running, kind of the imperative, this to me would be my crafting trainers. Do you see what I mean?
No chafing with the guillotine.
No, none whatsoever. Smooth as silk. We have got for you your wonderful large guillotine. And what this does is you can use it to cut things like paper or card precisely, accurately and cleanly every time. It's even got an element here where you can use it to score as well. This is one of those tools that truly is difficult to do without. It really is, isn't it?
It is. Do you know something? It's one of those that, as Becca just quite rightly pointed out, it's one of those that's hard to do without. And it's like, yes, but it's just cutting, really. I could say, and you know something, I've said it a couple of times, and I absolutely mean this. I could do a full 2-hour show on the guillotine alone because so many of you say, because I like my mats and layers, how do you get them so perfect, Craig? It is the guillotine that I use. And I think I've done like a 45-minute segment all about the guillotine. It's really, really special in so many ways. And if you are a crafter, you'll understand when I say a guillotine is special because it really is. Yours does come included with the score tool, but like ours has done little walkies. Probably it's in that bag of Debbie Robinson's because everything's in that one there. So you do get that lovely scoring tool as well. You've got a nice fine point, rounded edges as well. Now, I have obviously talked a lot about our scoreboards, which are great, and you will need them on a daily basis. But say that you misplace it, say you do take your guillotine with you, you don't necessarily have to worry about packing everything. If you forget your scoreboard, you can use this as a scoreboard. You've got all of your grids here to score. Your scoring tool is going to enable you to do that as well. So you've got that there. You do have inches, but you also have centimetres along the top. You've got them as well along the bottom. So if you're one that finds it easier having your cardstock towards the bottom, you can do that. If you find it easier up along the top, you can do that. You have got your finger guard here. So we are going to do a little bit of cutting in a moment, but you've got your finger guard here, so it's going to press down, secure your cardstock. You've got a lipped edge here, where my thumb is, so your fingers aren't going to go under the blade. And with this being the large one, if you press down and pull out, Becky, what you've got is your extended arm. And what I want to point out as well, because so many people that have got their large guillotine don't always realise this, you've got a little foot. Pull that down. There we go, even Patricia Erin didn't even know that one. So that enables you for that to stay still. So it's not going to happen where it's up and down.
Yeah.
It's nice and stable. So again, that goes all the way up to 13 inches. So it actually says 12 by 12 on your screen. It's actually 12 by 13 inches you can do on this one here. Very comfortably as well. What I'm going to do, I'm going to pop that in for a second. I'm going to talk about the blade, because this is something that a lot of people don't realise. So we have got our blade, without stating the obvious, Erin, it is sharp. We know that. I'm going to tell you how sharp it is. Any other guillotine out there or paper trimmers out there, they go to a paper trimmer manufacturer. Leanne won't have any of that. This is from a sword manufacturer, our blade. From a sword manufacturer. So yes, again, stating the obvious, it is very, very sharp, but that enables you to get your crisp, clean cut every single time. It is self-sharpening. So what you've got here is you've got your metal bar all the way down as well, underneath your finger grip, so if I turn it that way. So that enables it to do the self-sharpening. If you want to give it a helping hand by cut some tin foil, it's not going to do any damage or harm, but you don't need to. That does the self-sharpening for you. It's nicely ergonomically designed, so you've got the lip within the handle here, so your hand can sit just nicely, as if you're doing a little handshake to someone. You can then hold that one there. But let's do the cutting, what it's all about. So what we're then going to do is I'm going to go in with also my favourite, the retro rainbow.
Oh, I love the retro
Gorgeous.
rainbow. In fact, Sandra said I used the rainbow cardstock with the USB that we've just bought for you on Christmas Day, and I've sent a pic in of the resulting desk tidy. We'll see if we can have a nose of that in a bit. Thank you.
Will do indeed. So what we're going to do, plain and simple, matte and layer. So as we've gone through the show, I like to do our inches. So what I'm going to do here is let's take our block colour. So I'm going to do this to, let's do 8 inches. So we've got our little notch here that's 8 inches. Now I'm wondering, Nicola, if we can come really close, because
She can.
what I want to do, and this is a quick, oh, look at that. That is why in the biz we have the best of the best, and Nicola. So what we've got here.
Oh, you mischief maker.
She is. She's brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Now what we've got here, see these little notches? Mm-hmm. See how they're maybe about a millimetre or two in width? Mm-hmm. Many times we get asked, so let's have a look at the 8 inch here. Yeah. You get asked, do you do it to the right hand side of the notch, or do you go over to that left hand side? Because that millimetre or two, that's going to make a difference. So you do it to that right hand side of the notch. That is your accurate 8 inch or whatever measurement. So again, so there is your inch mark there, 8 inch. So I'm going to come back in here so that we can do the cut now. So I've got that at my 8 inch mark. It could be whatever, it could be 8 1/4, whatever it is that you like. So cardstock's in place, it's up against my line along the top here. You've got that notch at the top here, so it's held in nicely. Securing it with the finger guard here, and then listen to this.
Oh, I love that noise.
It's good, isn't it?
Oh, it's so good. It's like standing on snow.
Oh, it is like,
Isn't
yeah.
it? Or having a bite of a waffle. You know what I mean?
Can't say I've heard that when I've...
You like it?
Well, usually my waffle is soggy because I've got maple syrup or that on it. I don't tend to get a crunch with a waffle.
Oh, right. I have a crunchy... No, I'm talking like potato waffle.
Oh, potato waffles.
Yeah.
Ah, one of them.
Of course. I bet you feel really silly now.
Got yeah. Got you. See what you mean. Yeah, I see what you mean on that one. So what I'm going to do with this one, Becky, is I've turned it on its side. I tell you what, actually, let's go 6 inch. So we'll do 8 by 6.
Okay.
So I'm up against my 6 inch and cut. So I've got my base here that's 6 by 8. So this is where I always get asked about perfect mats and layers. So I do my mats and layers in 1/4 of an inch increment, which means, our guillotine's the best thing to do it with. So I'm going to go in with my patterned paper. So this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down 1/4 of an inch. So instead of 6 inches, I'm going to come down to 5 3/4.
1 notch.
1 notch down. You might want to do 1/2 inch mat and layer. It's up to you, but I do like to do 1/4 of an inch. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up to the 8 inch and I'm going to come down 1/4 of an inch. So 7 3/4 and cut. So then that gives me my absolute perfect mat and layer all the way round that you can see here. Right. And then what you could always do as well, Becky, let's take this bit here. So let's go 4 4.5 by, we're at the 6, so let's do 6. So we're now doing 4.5 by 6. So then this one, we can then do, let's do it this way. We can do 4 1/4, because we're coming down 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to go to 5 3/4. That gives me, again, my perfect mat and layer at 1/4 of an inch increment. That can then set into the middle, and we can see that is how we've got our 1/4 of an inch increments. Very, very quickly as well. Instead of doing 1/4 of an inch, if you wanted to do it 1/2 an inch, just come down another 1/4 of an inch. So we'll come down there. That now gives us our deeper mat and layer that you can see here. And then there we go. So that is why you've seen it on my Facebook lives and videos. I always use my guillotine. Predominantly it is the large guillotine as well, because that's what we have in stock as well. And the fact is something you're going to use daily basis, £8 in your Clearpay. Of course, yes, you have the additional £8, but the start of using a guillotine for £8 to try, brilliant.
It's absolutely wonderful, isn't it? If you do want to seize the moment, now is your chance. And it is the large guillotine, so just to give you an idea, like this is, sort of torso size for me. It's absolutely massive. So it's a really, really great tool for you to be able to get your hands on. I will let you know though, over 80% of the stock on this is out the door right now. So if you've been thinking about it or you're new, this is the time to buy. And again, it is just £8 on your first instalment today. You have waited so patiently to have a sneaky peek of our launch, and let me tell you, the wait is over. We are bringing to you now this absolutely mega stellar opportunity for you to get your expressions launched. These are your image sentiment dies, 12 different elements, including some Centura Pearl within this too. All of these elements you are getting, you use them, you cut them out, and you are on your way to stunning creativity. I've got some things that I can show you that have been created with this in a moment or two, but for now, just soak this up. You again, all of these different dyes, including the like of It's Time to Celebrate with Cake, lots of cake, and you've also got the likes of your friendship means the world to me. just think about how and where you could use these. For example, I'll show you Your Friendship Means the World to Me. This is a beautiful piece. This is actually created by, let's have a look, it's Leslie. Hiya, Leslie. Leslie from our team has created this. Just look, you can pop it onto an easel on top of a box if you wanted to. Have a nosy at this one as well by Julie. Hi, Julie. Look at how great that looks when you put it onto a popping colour. This would be wonderful with some that we've brought to you before. I love this one. Thank you for everything you do. How beautiful is that design? So it's intricate. You just simply are going to cut this out and put it on top of a different colour. You can genuinely do something quite simple with this in moments. Look how lovely this design is here, where we've used it with the gilding wax. I've got gilding wax on the show. I've had it on air for you today, 5 different colours, and just look at how stunning that one works with it. This one, by the looks of it, is the Empire Gold. The Empire Gold we've used on this, it is in the set that is at the bottom of your screen. Should be nearly 60 quid. It's only £47.96, and that can genuinely last years and years because you get a massive amount in there. So these are the ones you're getting. Faith, Hope, Love. I think that one's going to be beautiful maybe for Easter, for example, or maybe for christening cards. If you've got any christenings coming up this year, then that's going to be beautiful for that. Weddings, of course, it's great for. But there's just so much that you can do with these, and it is, I just look at this too. Paper piecing, it's perfect for. This one's in a shaker card. Oh, so you can see all of that glitz moving around. It really is. It's so ornate. It's, oh, just look at how beautiful. I love the idea of actually, on this one, using like a 2-part epoxy resin over the top of it and maybe making that into like a coaster of some sort. Could be really pretty. You could put photos behind these if you wanted to. I mean, the inspiration is endless. This one's by Wendy. Hi, Wendy. How great would this be, and how much would this raise a smile at springtime? Maybe for Mother's Day, something like that would be beautiful. This is the one I absolutely adore. It's time to celebrate with cake. Lots of cake. Of course, it's perfect for the likes of a birthday. But also, I like the idea of this as an invite. How cool would that be as like a party invite for somebody? And also, I quite like, if anyone likes Great British Bake Off, yeah? This could be a good one to get with your friends, couldn't it? Or maybe if you do the Macmillan, for example, Macmillan, the charity, do cake sales, and they do sort of cake and tea hours, don't they? This would be a lovely one for an invite to that as well. So much inspiration here, and all of it, every single one of these inspo pieces I'm showing you, created with the elements on your screen. This is make after make, event after event, month after month, and because they're high quality dies, year after year. All today, we are launching it, and yet it's on discount. That doesn't even make sense, right? A lot of places, when they're launching something, that's when you pay the most for it. It's only when there's like 1 or 2 left over, the scraps, if you will, that you get a discount. We're giving you a discount on launch. Why? Because we adore you. And also, don't forget that if you do treat yourself to this today, you, with us, get the extra points for Club Inspire. So that is a brilliant one because you're saving points along the way with us, which will then, in the long run, save you money. So it's win-win, winity-win with us. Let me just also remind you, if there's a couple of these that are speaking to you, we do also have an offer on at the moment. So it's £18 or $22 for 2. So you can mix and match then. If there's only 2 that are nattering to you, grab 2, £18 or $22, depending on what you go for. This is your way to get that 25% saving, though, if you do want to. There's so many of you in. I want to know what you think about these, okay? If you were to summarise them in, say, 5 words, or let us know. Or if you were to tell us which are your favourite 2 or 3, do let us know. Hello to you all. Demo request. Is Craig going to show how to use the gilding wax, please? Lovely Emma actually did a bit of a demo with the gilding wax earlier on that you could watch back on if you wanted to. Once the show is finished, then you can zoom back to that if you fancy, couldn't you?
Yeah, but I will, for you, Emma, and anyone else that's wanting to see them again, we'll do this demo. Then what we'll do, still using our image sentiments launch day project, we will use some of the Gilding wax as well to show you what you can do.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect. It's like we plan it.
Exactly. But that's the good thing about being able to comment and do it live, whereas we can answer them straight away, and that's exactly what we're doing. That's what I and everyone else is so proud of here at Crafters TV.
That's wonderful. There's loads of you still nattering about the guillotine as well. Anne says, I have both guillotines and they are great. Sandra says, I love my CC guillotine. There's loads of you talking about them. Hello again to Evangeline saying, the guillotine, I do love it. It's very sharp. Well, yeah, that's the sword, isn't it? So thank you for those messages. Do let us know which of these ones, brand new launch today, are talking to you. And remember, you do get the Centura with this as well. Do you fancy a little bit of crafterooning? Yeah, okay, let's do it. What are we gonna crafteroony, Craigie Dooney?
Rightio, let's make a bit of a shape card, and we're going to incorporate a few elements we've showed you today, such as the guillotine and the scoreboard as well. So what we're going to do is, we're going to do that just now, and then for yourself, Emma, what we'll do afterwards is we will do a very, very quick demo, but using the Gilding wax. So what I'm going to do is, we've got lots of cardstock on the show as Becky's gone over. I'm going to go in with some of our white smooth stamping card. And what I want is, I want 3 squares that are 5 by 5, 5 inches by 5. So I'm going up to the 5 inch. So using my guillotine. So I've got 1 of them, I've got 2 of them, and then, guess what? I'm going to go for a 3rd one. So we're going to go in with 3 of them. So what we can then do is, let's set that one out the side here. So if I move these bits out the way for now, so what I'm now going to do is, I'm going to bring in my scoreboard. And remember when I was talking about the black line earlier on? This is where that black line is just genius. You would do it yourself at home. Doesn't come with the black line, but it is really beneficial to do this. So what I want to do is, I want to score a line from corner to corner. So for argument's sake, you can choose any line. So let's say the 2 inch. So if I go and point where my finger is, that's at the 2 inch line.
Okay.
I don't know what one is the correct line. I don't know what one is the 2 inch line. So the way around that is to put my score tool, score down, and then get point to point, which, you know what, Becky? It's not a big deal, but still, it's a little bit of a hassle having to do it.
Yeah.
So if you go in with a black line all the way down, all that I need to do, point to point, that's it. I am in the exact place, because I know that this is the same centre line as the top. So I'm going to go all the way down, corner to corner. So I'm going to do that in all 3 of them here. So we're going to go corner to corner, like so. And then, excuse me, what we're then going to do is do corner to corner. So we've got 3 of these ones now, so let's set that one out the side. So I'm going to fold them in half. So we're going to go 1, we're going to do 2, and we're going to start to assemble these ones in a moment. So we're going to go 1, 2, let's give that another bit of a burnish there. So for this one, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go corner to corner. I'm then going to do corner to corner. And then this one here, we're going to go straight up. That's going to overlay like this. So we're going to take our tape runner. So what I'm wanting to do at this bit here, if you want to do a little bit of a pencil line underneath to make a mark, I'm not going to. What I'm going to do is, I know my adhesive needs to go onto this panel here. I don't need it down to the bottom, because there's no cardstock to stick to. So what I'm going to do, let's bring these ones back. So I'm going to go up to the point here and follow that score line all the way down. What I can do here is do that again at this side here. And then what that will give me, Becky, is a 10-fold style card. So we've got that one good to go. So that's that one. Now, what I have done already, simply by using these triangles as a guide, I've taken some craft card and I've cut my craft card. Basically, I cut it to 5 by 5, and then I use my guillotine to trim a couple of millimetres off, cut it at an angle, and that gives me my perfect corners for each side. So that gives me that one, and then that gives me that one, that gives me that one. And I've got a couple of bits here. We'll all assemble it in a moment, but I want to get into our image sentiments. And what I've also done, now it's not the paper pads on the show, but you can absolutely do that. I've taken some of these ones. So this is from our Autumn Gathering collection. So we've got Autumn Blessings, forgive me on that one, Autumn Blessings. If you look on our website for Autumn Gathering, I don't know what you're going to find, but it won't be that collection. Autumn Blessings. So we'll assemble these with our tape runner in a moment, but this is what's going to be our tentfold card. Well, I call it a tentfold because that's what it's like, or a TP card. Let's go in now with another bit of craft card. So what I'm doing now, I'm going to go in with the die set that says, count your blessing.
Oh, I love this.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Yes.
Lovely, lovely card. So what I'm also going to do, our image sentiment dies, you've got the image that die cuts, but with the image as well, it also has an outside cutting edge. So that standalone will cut out of your card. But what I love is when the team put in an additional outside cutting edge, because that creates apertures, it creates mats and layers, so therefore you can do shakers. There's lots of things that you can do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in, my little cheat sheet. What I'm going to do here is I'm only going to cut this to size that I need. So we've got this one here. So what I'm then doing, let's bring in my junior plates. This will also go through your Gemini MIDI. So what I can do is plastic shim, I can do my magnetic shim, and then if I get my additional cutting plate out, so what I can then do is I'm going to run this one through. Let me just take all of this out the way so that you can see it cutting. So if I take this one out, let's move my guillotine. Now with the Gemini Junior, or even if it's the large one you've got that pause and reverse function. But we can see as it's got the outside cutting edge, it cuts it away. What I would highly recommend with this collection, Becky, is to emboss afterwards. And that's because within this die, you've got lots of embossed detail. So sometimes at home, one of the questions we get asked a lot is, you forget the combination for the embossing mat. So let's put our plates back together again. It's just come out the Gemini. So what I like to do is remove my magnetic shim, turn it over, and then put in my embossing mat. Please never ever have the magnetic shim and the embossing mat together. There's never a technique where you use them both together. They don't like each other, and I'm going to say this quite strongly, if you do it, you will annihilate your rubber embossing mat. It's the pressure, that's how much they don't like each other. The combination of layers, the pressure of the Gemini, and it annihilates your embossing mat by stretching it. So if anyone says, oh, but there's a technique where you use them both together, there is not. There is absolutely not. Have them separate. So what this has now done is this has created your emboss in certain sections. So we've got little petals, we've got foliage, where you've got embossed lines. What I done last night on my Facebook Live, because one of the questions I had was that they didn't have an electric die cut machine, they had a MIDI, and you don't get a embossing mat with it. So how do you emboss it? Take your embossing tool from your Scoreboard or Ultimate Pro, and then what you go in and you do it yourself, Becky. Go in, and what you can also do is, even although I've embossed it, there is only so much that the embossing mat will press into the cardstock, so there's nothing wrong with you coming along and adding extra embossed detail even after you've embossed it with the mat. So you go in and it just enhances that emboss. So what we can do is, let's take my trusty Poke tool, which is something you always see us using. So we're going to pop the release bits. The other bit that I'm also going to use as well, now that's pretty much come out crisp and clean, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my die brush.
Okay, which by the way is at the bottom of your screen along with the Poke tool.
It is indeed. Again, these are, I was about to say these are all essentials. This whole show has been about core essentials, which has been lovely. It's been so good to be able to go back and just go over many of the key essential elements that you use on a daily basis. So between your die brush tool and your pokey tool, I'm releasing all of these bits. And you can also go in with your pokey tool and nick out any bits that you need. So what I'm then going to do is I'm going to do this one again, Becky, but I'm going to go in with a piece of Centura Pearl. So let's take this one. So let's take these last bits. And what I would always say as well, when you're going to reuse your die, please do take all the little bits out. That'll ensure that you'll always get that crisp, clean cut. If your die is packed with excess cardstock and you try and cut once again, doesn't always give you a clean cut because there's nowhere for your cardstock to sit. It's been bulked out. So please do take that time to take the remaining excess pieces out. So I'm going to go in with some rose gold Centura Pearl here. Use whichever one that you want within your stash. And once again, I'm going to cut the same die here so we can go onto our plate. But what I'm going to do, Becky, is I'm going to pop that one on. I'm going to bring in some quite smooth stamping card. Whatever cardstock you want to use, you can absolutely do that. And now I'm going to create a mat and layer for this one. So let's pop that one on. And I've got these two together, so I am going to secure them with my low tack tape. So let's bring that one in here. So we can then pop that one on, and we can pop that one on here. Run it through plastic, magnetic top plate. We're just going to tidy that up. We're going to run that one through. So even although one of them's got lots of detail, one of them's got an outline, it's going to die cut beautifully. What we were saying as well in the Facebook Live, these outline dies, these are good for simple mats and layers. Maybe you want to stamp an image and then use the die as a standalone outline die. You absolutely can do. You don't have to use them in conjunction with these dies here. So let's just take that one out. I'm going to set that to the side and then take this one out. Now what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to worry about embossing this one, Becky, because this is actually going to be a drop shadow. So I don't really need to worry about all of these being embossed. So let's take this one. Let's bring in my pokey tool because I can then clean the majority of my die later on. So I'm going to take this one out. And then what you can do with your pokey tool, use the mat that comes with it, and that's going to be a good helping aid for you to then pop these bits out. So we're going to take them ones here, 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 and then here. So we can start to assemble our card now. I'm going to go in. So this is going to be a drop shadow. So I want my brown to be at the front, and I want my rose gold to be at the back. This is then going to create that elegance of a drop shadow. You've got so many adhesives that you could be using if you want. I'm going to use my dotty tape runner. I believe these are still out of stock at the moment.
Yeah.
Either dotty tape runner when they come in stock. Always remember you can put in your email address and you'll be alerted when an out of stock item is back in stock. But you can use our tacky glue and go over the backs. We've got the adhesive sprays, which are easily available here in the UK anyway, with no issues at all. You've got self-adhesive sheets that you can use. Again, as always, it's a personal preference. It's up to yourself. So let's take, I'm going to put a bit of black underneath so you can see what I'm doing. So I'm going to hover over the top. We're going to do it the right way. And I'm going to hover over the top, and then I'm going to pull it down slightly. So I'm pulling down towards the bottom right-hand side.
Okay.
So then that's creating a drop shadow with the rose gold on the back. So we've got that one. And again, I know it's sold out, apologies, but the benefit with a dotty tape runner is the adhesive only sticks to the back of the dies.
Yes.
So what we can then do is let's take our adhesive again. I'm going to work all the way around over the detail, and then our mat and layer sits just beautifully into here. So we have got count your blessings and see how you get that instant hit of shimmer on the background with the pearlescent.
Definitely.
So what I'm going to do, because there's still loads that we want to do, Becky, all that I'm going to do is I'm only putting a tiny little bit of adhesive on for time. It is purely for now. What I'll do is in between shows, I'll come along and I'll add on more, but there's just so much that we want to show you in the remaining of the show that I don't want to spend lots of time going all the way round with my adhesives.
Perfect, yeah, I get you.
So
Jackie is saying, I've just tuned in, I'm very intrigued with what you're making. So glad I can watch this whenever I choose. Thank you for Jackie and thank you for tuning in. Hey up, Jackie, have you seen our new thing at the bottom of the screen? Nice, isn't it? Little graphic, the little blue thing, Clearpay.
It's one of my favourite colours.
Blue.
Well, it's like mint or duck egg blue or teal. Yeah, I love those colours.
Yeah, duck egg blue, you're not wrong. Yes, Jackie, in case you are, in fact, no, I've seen your name before, you're not new to us, but Clearpay, we are allowing you to do live on air today if you are in the UK. So that you can get this full collection delivered to your home for just, well, £11.75 on the Clearpay today. If you do want to find out more about that, then have a little nosy on our website and we'll talk you through that a little bit later. But it's very exciting. And thank you for tuning in, Jackie, and everyone else at home.
Here we go. So what I'm going to do now, to secure this, Becky, what I would do is I've got these tiny little Velcro dots. Now, I know we don't have these sorts of things on the website, but they're so easy to get a hold of, you know. Just search them on your search engine. Yeah. So what I'm going to do with this one is I'm going to start to pull it together. Now, please keep in mind, I will add more adhesive later on. I was just conscious of time. So where this folds on itself on the back, actually, there we go. Thanks, Nicola. If I'll come close up. So we can see that folds over. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a positive and a negative, and then what I like to do, Becky, is I like to stick them together, and then what I do is I'll come along. You can use more than one if you want. I'm just using one for now. So I'll pop it where I want. I can then come along. I can then press it. So I've now got that in the exact place of where I need to. And then what we can then do is carefully, because I've not got lots of adhesive on, of course, but then it folds down and then you fold it back. So what we can do now, so if we fold that, see, my adhesive, let's look at that. Let's give that a little bit of a press where the triangle's going to sit. So now we have got, well, any of these could be the front really, Becky, whichever ones that you want. Yeah. So let's do this one as the front because I've got my Velcro dot at the back. Okay. So what I can then do is I can go on with my sentiment, either with a foam pad or glue gel if you want, but I can then come along and I can sit that into the middle, press it in. I'm not going to worry about gems at the moment, but you can come along, you can pop some gems, but then there we go. It's a lovely little TP card that you can see here. Simply pop it on a square card, or you can do something like that. However, on my Facebook Live last night, which you can go back during the shows and watch, although I'm going to cover them a lot more in launch day later on, 7 o'clock here in the UK, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific Time. You don't just have to die cut with them. So we've showed you with the foil press. So I don't think we'll have time to show you with the foil press this show, but tune in with launch day, we'll show you that. But what we can do, I'm going to take some black card and we're going to use our Gilding wax for this one. I'm going to bring in one of my other dies here. So this one, what we're going to use, Becky, is If Friends Were Flowers, I'd Pick You. Oh,
that's so nice.
You're very welcome.
It's a lovely sentiment, that,
it's lovely, isn't it? It's lovely.
There's one similar I've heard to that, but it's not. Oh, no, I know what it is now.
Uh-oh.
Instead of flowers, it's. Oh, this is horrible. If you're having your breakfast, oh, no, you won't be now. It's a bit late. Bogies.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I can say I've never heard of that one before.
Well,
I like the thought of the flowers.
The flowers.
I'm going to go with the flowers. It's so much nicer. So much nicer. So what we're going to do with this one, Becky, is let's pretend we've die cut it.
Okay.
Okay, doke. So we're just saying that we've die cut it.
Yeah.
But what we're actually going to do is use the die as an embossing feature.
Cool.
So base cutting plate, our rubber embossing mat. So we're going to put our cardstock, we're going to pop our die, we're going to do our plastic shim, and then our top cutting plate. So this is exactly the same as if we have die cut it and then we're embossing it, but all that we're doing is we are eliminating the die cut feature. You will hear little bits of cracking, that's the die going into the cardstock, but there's not enough pressure for it to cut, but there is enough pressure for it to emboss. Now you can just see it at the moment on the black card, you can see the outline.
Yeah.
But let's bring in our antique gold. Now what I've done here with the black card, you can do it on white card and then come over the top with your inks. But this now shows you, you don't have to use these just for die cutting. Let's go a little bit. And what happens is where you've got that raised detail that's not quite die cut, you can then go over with your gilding wax. Or as I say, if you're doing this on white cardstock, come over with, well, your gilding wax or your inks. You would take a little bit more time than me, but if I go all the way around, and then if I pick that up, look at that one.
Gorgeous.
And then I do have, so this one that I done on my Facebook Live last night, so exactly the same, but I've taken some of the gold instead. So you can be doing that, and then within the launch day show as well, we'll do a little bit of a segment where I'll show you that you can foil with it, and you can foil the die cut pieces as well. It's going to elevate your image sentiment die launch day.
I absolutely love that, and I have to say I'm not the only one. One of my favourite texts of the morning, Laura, says, I was watching with so much interest as Craig was embossing with the scoring tool that I put apple juice in my tea. Oh, that sounds fruity. You're a love, Laura. Oh, have you finished it? Thank you for letting us know that, Laura. If you would like to be able to create lovely embossed details or cards like the TP card, or if you'd like to be able to do the technique we've just seen, you are of course going to need your essentials, which is your card. Let me talk to you about your stamping card first. This is what Craig's been using majoritively throughout the day. It's your super duper smooth card. We call it stamping card, but that doesn't mean you just have to stamp onto it. You can draw onto this, you can cut this out with your dies. We just call it stamping card because it is so super smooth that it is great for stamping. You're gonna get 2 packs of this, so this is just 1 pack. You're gonna get 2 packs total, 120 sheets. And this is gonna last and last and last. Great for card bases, stamping, die cutting, embossing, so much more. And it is on your screen right now. If you loved the design that Craig used where he did the drop shadow, we used a Centura Pearl card. And Centura Pearl is basically the name that we use for our cards that's just a little bit extra snazzy. And this is the card that you're getting. It is not only luxurious in its richness of colour, but it is also absolutely divine in its sparkle. It's like Willy Wonka's sort of golden ticket, this one. Different colours, old gold I'm bringing to you. I have got your royal blue as well. And look, even though it's in the cellophane, you can still see that shine through. That's how good this quality is. And then I've got your cherry as well in here, as well as the pack of massive stamping cards. Then I've got for you some more Centura colours, and this time it's with Craft Card. Craft Card is spelt with a K. It's used for crafting, but so is all of our other cards. Craft Card is this card, which the lovely Craig used with the drop shadowing earlier on. This one you're getting that big pack again, and now I'm bringing to you different shades of your Centura. Lilac I've got in here. I love the idea of this one for kind of mother of the bride cards, bridesmaids cards. I just think it's so spring-like. I've got your mint green as well in here, which should actually go great with the launch one that I've got, because I could imagine this is like an icing if you were to paper piece, an icing on these cakes. And then I've also got your baby blue. as well, which has got this really nice sort of Arctic feel to it. Very complimentary as well if you do use it with kind of greys and pinks, very Instagrammable. We've got all of those there for you today. You are getting it for just £17.97. If you're getting it on Clearpay today, your first instalment and following 3 instalments, less than £4.50. So a great opportunity for you today. We have got a special request for a demo as well, and it is all to do with using this fabulous bit of kit. It is all to do with the scoring starter kit. If you are brand new, hello, bonjour, welcome to the family. If you need to know your things that you can have and craft with quick as a flash, let me tell you, card and this, and you are going to be well on your way to making not just cards, but boxes and envelopes and more. And we are going to have a little nosy because we did have a special request. It was from Kathy, and Kathy is asking for that lovely TP card you've made.
Yeah.
Can you tell us, in fact, can you show us a good box or envelope to make for that, please?
I can do. I can absolutely do that. And once again, to reiterate what I said a few moments ago, the fact that we are able to do this live, you've asked the question, I've made this, and you've been able to ask, but can you do a box for it? Which I'm going to do a box for it. And what I'm going to do as well is showing you that you're not tied to the instructions. You can do whichever size box, card size dependent. So I'm going to come in with my scoreboard once again. Now I'm going to go in with my TP card. So what I'm going to do is I've got my TP card, so I'm going to fold this to as small as it will allow me to go. So that's about as small as it'll allow me to go, because if I fold any more, I'm going to bend the hinges of the card. So that is my size of my TP card. So I'm going to come down into the corner of my glass mat so that I can check the measurements for this one. So we're going to see that just in a second. What I always like to do as well, when I am making a box for myself for whatever size, I always just take a little bit of a note. So I can see, so the height of this is, so let's just tidy that up. So the height of this is 10 inches. So I'm just writing myself a little note, so 10 inches. And then the width of this one is 7 1/4. So I'm just doing 7 1/4. Now, this is where all you need, there is a little bit of maths to it if you just need to work it out. You just need to determine how thick you want your box, the depth of the box. So let's say I'm going to say 1/2 inch. So we're going to have a 1/2 inch depth box. So therefore, what you need to remember is, so there's 10 inches. So I need 1/2 inch at the top, and I need 1/2 inch at the bottom. So therefore, the height of my card needs to be 11 inches. And then because this is 7 1/4, I need 1/2 inch at this side, and I need 1/2 inch at that side. So therefore, that's going to be 8 1/4.
Yeah.
So I'm going to write myself a note, 8 1/4. So my cardstock needs to be 11 inches by 8 1/4, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch all the way round. So let's move that out the way. I'm going to come back in with our rainbow cardstock, because this is what I had to hand here. And if you remember, if you go by the guide with boxes, it tells you what kind of size cardstock that you need. But if you're doing it yourself, then, as I say, 11 by 8 1/4, so my 12 by 12 is going to do that just perfectly.
Perfect.
So let's go back with our guillotine, Becky. So I'm going to go in. So what I'm then going to do is, let's go in, so I'm going to go for 11. So let's do 11 by 8 1/4 into here, and then we're going to do exactly the same. So when you're doing your boxes, the base and the lid are exactly the same size. So we're doing 11 by 8 1/4.
Okay.
So that's my cardstock. Let's go over into our score master here. So what I'm going to do is, let's do the polka dot as the lid. So therefore, I'm going to go into my scoreboard. So we're going to pop this to the left-hand side, at the side of your Scoremaster. Keeping in mind, it does tell you with an arrow, your box lid is to the left. So it's to the left, and I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. So I'm going to score at 1/2 inch. And the reason I've done 1/2 inch is it's not that thick when you fold it.
Yeah.
So if it was a lot thicker, then instead of adding on 1/2 inch, you would add 1 inch or 3/4 inch or 1/8 inch, whatever it is. So what we're going to do, so the basic thing is decide on the depth of your box, and then whatever the measurement of your card or project is, you need to add, for instance, I've gone for 1/2 inch, you need to add 1/2 inch onto each edge of your cardstock.
Perfect.
So we've scored there, so there's my lid.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to the box base now, pop it to the side. Now remember, I was saying I find it hard to score upwards.
Yeah.
So I turn it on itself, and I'm scoring at 1/2 inch again.
Beautiful.
And we're going to go all the way round. And then what I'm going to do is cut these little nicks in the corner, Becky.
Yeah.
Add my tape to secure it, and you'll see, hopefully, no, I've got absolute faith that this is going to fit.
Kathy C is saying, wow, I can't believe Craig is answering my questions so quickly. Love, love, love this show. Thanks, guys.
You're very welcome.
You're so welcome, Kathy. And that is what Craft, Chat and Create is all about. So I'm glad you're enjoying it. And if you are, don't forget, let people know about it. Share the love. Whilst you're just folding, Emma has had a question.
Yes.
Is the stamping card for both alcohol and water-based, please? I presume you mean ink, possibly?
Yes, so that is a good question if you are relatively new or you're just unsure. So your watercolor card, that is good for anything that's water-based. So things like your sparkle pens, your sparkle inks, your aqua pens, your aqua pots, anything that is water-based, you're best to use your watercolor card. Now for alcohol colouring, it's best to use what's called our Nina cardstock. So that is best for your alcohol colours, for instance, Classiques, Tri-Blends, Illustrators. However, if you have ran out of Nina cardstock and you don't have any spare and you think, oh my gosh, I need to finish this colouring project, you can use your white smooth stamping card. You will get a lovely blended effect with your white smooth stamping card, but the absolute best result will be with your Nina. So to answer your question, watercolour card for your water-based products and Nina cardstock for your alcohol colouring, but you can use your white smooth stamping card for alcohol colouring at an absolute push, I would say.
Beautiful, thanks.
So here we go. So I'm going all the way around here.
Oh, important update on Laura. Laura, who was paying so much attention, she actually accidentally put apple juice in her tea.
Oh no!
This just in. Laura says it's not a taste I'd go for again. So that's her professional review. So if you were thinking of trying it out at home, Laura says don't bother, basically.
You would think it'd just be like a fruit tea, wouldn't you? Clearly not. Clearly not.
Yeah, but imagine. Yeah, I don't know. It depends what type of tea bag you're using. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If it's a Yorkshire tea, oh, that's gonna smack you in the face. That is. Do you know what I mean? If it's like an Earl Grey.
I see. I'm Tetley guy.
Are you?
I'm Tetley.
Is it all the way through?
Tetley all the way through.
Never an Earl Grey.
No, it's always Tetley.
How do you feel about a red bush?
On that note, so we've got our box base. And we've got that as a branded tea bag, just for any Americans that is watching, that's never heard of it.
Oh, yeah.
So there is our box. So let's bring in, look at that.
Woo.
It fits. Now what you could do as well, you could be even more precise and you could You know, now obviously if that was slightly in a little bit, you can then calculate it so it is a square. But as we've gone with what I've got in front, which means, see my adhesives come off, I'll rectify that later on. But there we go, we have got a box, we've got our lid that can sit into place here. So let's pop that one on, let's go there, there's take my adhesives, just so you can see, there you go. So we've got our box base, we've got our box lid. Nothing like that was planned. That question literally came in live. Sorry, Erin, who was it? That was Kathy. So Kathy, there you go, answered your question. Like, not only answered it, but demoed it live as well for you. So that is how you can make your own boxes. That is your own depth, your own width, and your own size.
That is wonderful. Thank you for showing us that. One question that I have had in from the wonderful Emma, who's getting involved loads today. Thanks, Emma. You're a love. Re-gilding wax. Does it wash off your finger all right?
Yes. What the easiest way to do it, some of you might have this hand product, and that is your alcohol gel. You know,
hand sanitizer.
Hand sanitizer.
Oh, wow, yeah.
You know, some of us might have some of that. That helps. Warm soapy water. What you can also do as well, if you do have your adhesive cleaner that you would use for your glass mat, it is safe. Obviously anything like that would still say like your glue, a little bit of a patch test just to make sure, but it's absolutely safe to just give it a spray onto your finger. But as I say, warm soapy water, that will do just the job as well. If it's a little bit tough, if you've got a lot of it in, hand sanitizer or the adhesive cleaner will help as well.
Beautiful, thanks very much for that. If you do fancy getting your hands on the scoring starter kit, it is available for you right now. Everything you see on screen, including the Centura Pearl, is available at just £11 on Clearpay today. Again, Clearpay, UK residents only, as it says in little print under the money. So yes, if you want to get it home today, that will cost you just 11 quid, and then 3 instalments, 2 weeks, every 2 weeks after that until you've paid it off. Now, if you are quite new, or if you've been with us for years, you will know possibly the importance of a good variation in paper, right? If you have been with us for years and you're on our socials right now, just give people who are new a little heads up about why papers are so important, or what you love about our papers. Because I think when you look at this for the first time, if you're brand new, you might think, surely I'll never get through all of this paper. Yet people at home who've been with us a while know that that is not the case. I have got for you here what we call a paper library. And what this means is you get a massive collection of different design paper that is 12 by 12 in size. These are the varieties that you get. I'm going to flick through these really quickly, but you can, of course, grab your hands on these ones, and that means that you can look through them at your own leisure. But there's loads of different themes in here. You've got ones that are for little ones. Look at the giraffe. Oh, he's so cute. You've got the heffalumps as well. But yeah, all of these different designs that you're getting, think about how you could use these. Christening cards, that would be great. Parties for youngsters, that would be great. This one here, which is so wonderful. It's red, white and blues that you're getting. Great for your special occasions, maybe around sort of 4th of July, that's what I was thinking of. This one is so cool. If you are into the likes of Twilight, Barry Jotter, sorry, Barry Jotter's what we call him in my house. Harry Potter, yeah, sorry. Yeah, I forgot no one else calls him that. You know, Barry Jotter. You have got the chance here as well, of course, as the likes of your Halloween. There's just so much in here. These are just some of them that I'm showing. And the thing is, all of these will come in a pack as well, that you can pop them all in. So it's really nice and sturdy, really nice filing system here that will keep them beautifully organized so that you don't damage them, so that you can use them, so that you can cut them up. And don't forget, this is 12 by 12, so it's reusable. All of those, and that isn't kind of even half of them really. Look at the amount left. We are bringing to you today all of that £19.12. You can get that home for today. How cool is that? So if you do want to seize the moment on your Clearpay here in the UK, you can get all of this home today for just £19.12. And if you do want to treat yourself to some of these goodies on Clearpay, do not forget that we've got loads of other shows that you can get involved with. If you are new with us, let me let you know that we have got all of these different times, which is when you can watch us, right? So if you're tuning in the UK, of course you'll know that this show started at 8 a.m. This is your 3-hour show, Monday to Friday, completely live. You've also got in the UK a 12 p.m. show, a 3 p.m. show, and a 7 p.m. show. And you watch us in the same way that you always do. It's great to set your alarm to. And the cool thing about it here as well is each show has like a different theme and a different idea. So we've got like the likes of Colour Me Happy. Colour Me Happy, it's totally zen, it's totally cool, it's all about kind of mindfulness and colouring. Craft Along is a brilliant one, it's award-winning. Yeah, it is, the whole format. It's basically, we give you a list of things to get together and you can actually make along in real time with us. It's really cool. You've got loads of other ones such as Soft Decide as well. Soft Decide, by the way, we are going to be nattering to Becky, not me Becky, another Becky, who's joining us in the wake-up call in, an hour-ish from now. And that is what she's going to be working on, Softer Side. We have launch day as well. Don't forget, we've launched a product for you today that is still available if you want to grab it. But we're going to have like a 2 full-hour focus on it today. That's coming up for you at 7 o'clock. This is UK time. And as I mentioned, you've got your wake-up call as well, which is starting for you in around about 1 hour and 1 minute. And what I will say to you is wake up calls are really a good one because it kind of gives you a little sneaky preview of some of the goodies that are coming up for you too. One that I didn't mention actually is Play Your Crafts Right, which is where you at home get to win sort of money accredited to your account, and it's kind of brain teasers, fun games that we play, as well, of course, as all of your demos. And one thing I will say that is kind of unique about Crafters TV is every single one of these shows and all of the others that we do will always have a multitude of demos within them, which is wonderful. We have got Wake Up Call with myself, Craigle and Becky coming up in a bit. Gives a sneaky idea of what you're planning on demoing.
So you're going to see me, of course, throughout the full show. I'm going to be on towards the last half hour of the show where we're going to be demoing. Are you waiting for it? If you want to see more of the launch day collection before actually launch day, we're going to be having a look at it as well. But Becky's going to be doing soft crafts. We're going to have a bit of a chat. Yeah. So let's go and get another cup of tea and get ourselves sorted.
Yeah, I absolutely love that idea. I won't mind a brew. Oh, yeah. So if you do want to join us, remember, we're going to be with you very, very shortly. You've got an hour, set your alarm, make yourself a cuppa, and then join us in a little bit. Thank you for today. I'll see you in soon. Bye-bye.
Toodles.